जय गोपी जन गिरिवराधि यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदा यमुनातीरावनचारीं नक्तीरा कुञ्जविहारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे लाउडर हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम जय गौरानिता 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 जय गीता जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमती डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य बीबीडी फाउंडर आचार्य सेवियर ऑफ द होल वर्ल्ड शिल प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नमचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपिका श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिराज गोवर्धन की ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की मथुरापुरी धाम की पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की श्री नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की गंगा मैया की यमुना मैया की भक्ति देवी की श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा वृंदावन चंद्र की श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्र मैया की श्री श्री निताय की ग्रंथरा श्रीमद् भागवतम की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devye Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. ओमज्ञान्तमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजाता सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. Welcome to our second day of Bhakti Vaibhav course discussing from fourth canto. Yesterday we discussed 13th chapter, the descendants of Dhruva Maharaj. Before we proceed to the next chapter, any recollection of yesterday's discussion? Raise your hand and tell your point. Vistas?
Whatever we need, according to our eagerness.
Yes. Knock and the door shall open. Seek and thou shalt find. Like that. Yes.
So
if you seek Amras, you get Amras. If you seek Namras, you get Namras. If you seek Kamras, you get Kamras. Decide your ras. Yes.
Yes, in the similar line, also we discussed like we say that we didn't get this to know or that to know. Then actually, it is not that we didn't get to know. We are not eager enough to know about it. If we are eager, then Krishna will arrange for somebody.
And you see, 7 days only were there with Parikshit Maharaj. Somehow by Lord's grace, the Katha ended little earlier, and Uttara was desperate to hear Krishna Katha. So now she knows 7 days are not there. So she asked, please tell me the essence, all that you heard. And then she could hear Sri Bhagavatamrita. You see, the person who is on the verge of death, 7th day, last day, then also you can hear. If you are eager to hear, you can get to hear.
You gave nice example of that also, like your personal example also you gave regarding Iran-Iraq thing. So Iran-Iraq thing also you gave example of Iran-Iraq thing.
Which thing? Iran, Israel.
Yes, Israel.
Iran, Iraq is not there. Good that you are not aware. You are more fortunate than me. Yes. Krishna Kirtan.
Yes. In Pruthumara section, you told nothing is absolutely bad. Like all the Vena was there, Pruthumaras was born, so
Yes.
anything happens.
Yes.
And in that only Prabhupada writes how Krishna arranges something for us so that one gets rid of this and he can go for practicing devotional service. His own example he tells how Krishna took him away.
Yes. Because Vena was a bad son, so to say, Anga was thinking. So Prabhupada said that sometimes Krishna may arrange in devotee life. He was born from Sunitha, the daughter of death personified. So sometimes the wife may not be favorable in Bhakti Marg, and that is good for the devotee to become detached from household life and then proceed with further ashram. Yes. Any other point? No other point?
That only means one thing that sun is having bad sun is a blessing in disguise, means because one will not get attached to that sun if he's but there's a chance of becoming attached if the sun is very nice. So but here we see that Maharaj Anga left the kingdom in the middle of the night and he went away. So he was thinking that this is a fortune of Lord that my son is not so good, means he's against he's not so appropriately following all things.
Okay. Yeah. Any other? Take the mic.
Greatest blessing if one gets mercy of a saintly person for material opulence, it's a blessing. But if he gets detachment from material attachment, it is the greatest.
Rimbo. Great. In which context it came? He performing sacrifice. In that context it came. That was in 47th. Thinking like that, King Anga could not sleep at night. He became completely indifferent to household life. Once, therefore, in the dead of night, he got up from bed and left Vena's mother, his wife, who was sleeping deeply. He gave up all attraction for his greatly opulent kingdom, and unseen by anyone, he very silently gave up his home and opulence and proceeded towards the forest. In that purport, Mahodoyodayat, that was explained like that. Mahodoy, Mahodoyodayat. Mahoday Udayat. Mahoday is great soul. Udayat, opulent by the blessings of great souls. Mahauday Udayat. Yes. Any other? Okay. Another point. So we begin with the next chapter, 14th, the story of King Vena. Vena is going to be, he is already the son of Anga. So first 10 slokas are talking about appearance of Pruthu and, oh no. So how Pruthu came here? Previous chapter. Vena's atrocities. Now Anga is not there. Vena is now having complete freedom. With father's presence, he was doing those things. Now you imagine what all he could do now in the absence of father. So that is discussed in the first 6 slokas. Story of King Vena. Maitreya Uvacha Bhrugvadayasте munayo लोकानां क्षेमदर्शिनः गोप्तर यसति वै नृणां पश्यन्तः पशुसाम्यताम्. The great sage Maitreya continued, O great hero Vidura, the great sages headed by Bhrigu were always thinking of the welfare of the people in general. When they saw that in the absence of King Anga there was no one to protect the interests of the people, they understood that without a ruler, the people would become independent and non-regulated. So two things happen when you don't have authority over you. You become independent and non-regulated. There's no one to emphasize rules and regulations for you. So you are non-regulated. मनमानी करेंगे, whimsical. Whatever you feel is proper, you will do it. That's why one should always subordinate himself to some authority in parampara. Shemadarshinaha, those who are always looking after the welfare of the people in general. So referring to the sages headed by Bhrigu. That Chaturvarnam Maya Srishtam, 4 Varnas. In modern democracy, these scientific divisions are turned topsy-turvy, and by vote, Shudras or workers are chosen for administrative posts. Having no knowledge of the ultimate goal of life, such persons whimsically enact laws without knowledge of life's purpose. The result is that no one is happy. In America, His Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaj was telling how the election happens. One party ridicules other party. They are nonsense, they are this, and they will never do anything for your welfare. You choose me, I am so great, I am better than him in this aspect, that aspect. And that party also will similarly speak ill of this party, and like that. So people, this goes on television also. How one party head is speaking ill of another party head, and goes on like cats and dogs. In one sense, they are shouting, fighting, and all that. So now people know both are liars only. So who is less liar? So he has to be elected. Like that it is. So as Prabhupada said, for this democracy, the what they call government of the people, by the people, for the people. But then Prabhupada said government of the Shudras, by the Shudras, for the Shudras. The very low class people. The leaders themselves are not trained. That's why preaching is required. The future presidents, future prime ministers are in the classroom today. And their teachers are also in the classroom. Teachers are humble. So that's why they can lead them. So they are all to be approached, those children. They have to be trained nicely. As Prabhu was telling today morning, how in which state? UP, he said, Uttarakhand, something he said, few. Himachal Pradesh, here it is compulsory to recite Bhagavad Gita verses daily. And now maybe Kolkata also. BJP is one, so maybe there it will start. And soon it should be all over India, like that. So even if the government is not so much for it, so we do it unofficially. We train children in our own temples or congregation children. It's very much required. Yes. Srila Chakravarti Pad writes, in the 14th chapter, after being installed as king by the sages, the irreligious Vena is given instructions, killed, and then has his leg churned by the sages. He's installed as the king, given instruction and killed. So fast. Yesterday I was telling in the beginning. Life is like that. That thumbs up example I gave. So our life is like that only. Especially materialists' life is like that, isn't it? If a devotee has to describe a materialist whom he knows or him whom he knew, say, yeah, he was born in 1947 and he died recently in 2025, like that. Now, but what he did throughout life, no, eating, sleeping, mating, depending, and lying, cheating, all that. So not there's nothing, because if Heno avatare jar ratina janmilo, Lochan bole se papi, hello aragelo. If you are not devotee, all that you did ends up in oblivion. Nothing. What did he carry forward? Only sinful reactions. Because he performed sinful actions while being in this body. Hardly anything. So that's why whole revolution is required. तद्वाग विसर्गो जनताग विप्लवो यस्मिन् प्रतिश्लोकम अबध्यवत्यपि नमामि अनन्तस्य यशोंकितानि शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति साधव अभिक्ष्णश न साधवः. Those who are great souls, they accept it. You got confused, and because of your confusion I was associating, so I got confused, but then I rejected that association, so I was again situated in dharma. So how do we choosing our association? It can be dangerous. Just because vast population says it is abhikshnasha, may not be that. They could be all wrong, because they have not yet got Bhakti Vaibhav degree. So they are not yet qualified. Doesn't mean that after getting Bhakti Vaibhav degree you become qualified. Afterwards also the same thing. Bewilderment continues for the jiva. So beware. Sadhus, savdhan. Because you remember the shloka only till the exam. After exam, Shrunvanti Gayanti Grananti Abhikshnashah. You get into first canto, basics, Kunti's prayers. So that is not required. Anyway, he was given instructions, killed, and then has his leg churned by the sages. The sages saw that the people were similar to animals. Samyatam has the same meaning as samatam, being equal to. As wolves or jackals kill sheep, so criminals would kill the citizens. So one should be concerned about the people. Great sages, saintly people are concerned about the well-being of all the people in general. Just like parents are always concerned about children who are very innocent, naive, gullible, weak, vulnerable. They cannot protect themselves. So parents, they protect children. So likewise, society is like that: gullible, naive, materialistic, poor, ignorant, foolish. And we, having got mercy in Guru Parampara through knowledge and devotion, we should be concerned about protecting them, not materially, physically, but spiritually. It's natural that 4.35 says that Yadgatva punarmoham gyasyasi drashyasi, something like that. After Pranipat Pariprashna Seva, the realized soul will impart knowledge because he has seen the truth. And by that knowledge, you realize all living entities are in me, they are mine, they are my parts and parcels. So all are children of Krishna, they need to be reconnected to Krishna. It is my responsibility. And till they are not connected to Krishna, till then they will be slaughtered by Maya. Maya is slaughtering all living entities at every moment. That's why knowledge should be spread. Nahi jnanena sadrusham pavitram iha vidyate. There is nothing as sublime as transcendental knowledge, 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. नहीं ज्ञानेन सदृशम, ज्ञान के समान कुछ नहीं, पवित्रम, ज्ञान के समान कुछ भी पवित्र नहीं है, यह विद्यते इन दिस वर्ल्ड. So ज्ञान दान is topmost, not नेत्र दान. चक्षुदान दिलो जय, that is our नेत्र दान. दिव्य चक्षुदान, avoiding divya chakshu, not this normal chakshu which outside society celebrates at Netradan Shibir, isn't it? Eye donation camp. Please donate your eyes, donate your eyes. Anyway, after death, what is the use of your eyes to your body? आप आंखें बंद कर देते हो तो आंखों की क्या जरूरत है? आंखें दान कर दो. So that is useless. चक्षुदान दिलो जी. We should avoid ज्ञान चक्षु or शास्त्र चक्षु to such people. So the sages were concerned about the well-being of all people. Prabhupada's famous statement in first canto, spiritual well-being is automatically followed by material well-being. So unless you help people in their spiritual well-being, your material well-being for them is all useless. It's just saving the coat of the drowning man. Coat may be costly, but useless it is in comparison to the man who is costliest. So that's how it is. Second, वीरमातरमाहुय सुनिथां ब्रह्मवादिनः प्रकृति असम्मतं वेनम् अभ्यषिञ्चन् पतिं भुवः. The great sages then called for the queen mother Sunitha, and with her permission they installed Vena on the throne as master of the world. All the ministers, however, disagreed with this. They had good experience. Most of these ministers' sons were killed by Vena because they were friends of Vena, and in childhood only he would just pick them up, throw them on the stone wall, or butcher them, just like one butchers an animal, like that. So they had been crying for months, years, or decades. So they were never for Vena, Vena being the king. But the sages, seeing that otherwise rogues and thieves and dacoits are going to exploit these gullible masses, better have some king, and Vena is there. But ministers disagreed. They knew this fellow has not changed over the years and difficult for him to change. They were quite convinced. Yes.
Ruchi, like this story when we hear means like blind king uncle is better than no uncle kind of situation here. But like it seems that there is a kind of a hold on the lineage that son should only become the king kind of it appears there. Why not some other person who is, because we speak it very clearly in our, like, at least in Kaliuga, that anybody who's qualified, his defense is Varna and Ashrama. So if any other person is a qualified king, may not be in the family of king, why don't we take that person? Why only you have to take the Vena only because he being
because these are Kshatriyas. Kshatriyas means Shatit Rayate iti Kshatriya, one who should protect the weaklings, 5 weaklings, women, children, cows, old men, Brahmanas. So Vena has that power, but he has that power. Even the dacoits who were so dangerous, they were all fearful, as we will see also, how they hid themselves because of fear of Vena. So he had that power, but then he misused it also. For that matter, we find even demigod or king of the demigods also. And that corruption is possible for anyone, even a pious soul also. Maya is very amazing. She can make even a pious soul corrupt. So that risk has to be taken. What is the guarantee that everybody in the lineage will be pure soul only? No.
So like
they tried, they gave a try, and then when they found that this person is Laton ka bhut, he is not listening to bate, so then they killed him also.
So, point like Kshatriya you said was perfect, that one has to be there. But is there no other Kshatriya apart from the king's family In the lineage of the king.
This is the lineage, no? Dhruva Maharaj had all these sons and all that. Then Anga is having only one son. So by default, he has to be the king.
So because traditionally we see this very strongly there, Puja, that son has to be become like
Yes,
that.
because it was not just in one sense Guna Karma Vibhakasha is there. It's more applicable in Kali Yuga. But earlier it was by birth only the person would accept the Guna and Karma of the father by default, almost. Very rarely there would be some Brahma Bandhus or Shatra Bandhus. Otherwise, everybody was more or less Brahman sons will be Brahman, Kshatriya son will be Kshatriya. It was the trend.
That is a rigid trend in the Vedic time.
Rigid means that was there by default in one sense. But then as Kali Yuga came, then it degraded, no? Miss down every age, one pillar of religion is broken down, no? Like Satya, all of those, Daya, Shaucham, and Tapasya. So one is broken. So by Kali Yuga, it's like almost all gone. Just little bit Satya is remaining. So then we have to depend on Guna and Karma only. But earlier it was not like that. Just like that same devotee yesterday I was telling you, he gave me the report of Israel war. So he said, when I asked him what is the secret of your good health, he said in our childhood we were in the village and just in the field only all these what you call sabjis and all were there. Any sabjis required, we would just pluck it out from the field only and make it very fresh and very pure. Cows were there and all that. So then that's why naturally body is very strong, less diseases, lot of strength, lot of vigor, intelligence, eyesight is very good, isn't it? Now you see children are 2-year-old, 3-year-old children, you'll find them with thick specs, thick glasses. That's pathetic. In your childhood, did you find so many children having glasses? But now you see, and wait till you become old. That time you'll see many more children having glasses. You understand? So degradation happens. Then we have to go for something accordingly. Then he is exception. Now if you see down the line, Utkal was so renounced. He did not occupy the throne only. But then Anga is very nice. And after him also Prutu and down the line Prachetas, it all glorious. But just one person like that. And that is not clear. No? Always there will be kind of what they call benefit of doubt. Maybe after becoming king, he will improve. He will not be atrocious. That thought is there. And they are there always guarding the citizen. For that reason only they appointed the king, Vena. But when they found that he is not ready to change, rather he is a problem, he removed the lower problem, but he became himself a higher problem. So this problem has to be solved. So they solved it like that. They had to solve in that way only because there is no king there. So they only killed him. Okay, so in commentary, Chakravarti Path writes, there are two other versions of the text with Prakruti Asammatam, not approved by the ministers, citizens, or his mother. Even mother did not agree. Krishna, Prakruti Asammatam, na? Asammatam, did not agree, isn't it? Who all? Prakruti. So who all fall in the category of Prakruti? Ministers. Prakruti means subordinate, na? Maya Adhyakshana Prakruti. Suyate Sacharacharam. Purusha will be the enjoyer. He will be the head and subordinate will be Prakruti. So Prakruti means ministers, citizens are also Prakruti only. And Prakruti Stri is particularly Sunita. Even Sunita did not agree. And Prakrutya Sammatam, not approved because of his nature. Prakruti means nature also, na? Krutiki Niyam, laws of nature. So his nature was such that it was not agreed upon. It was not approved that he could be the king. He is not fit only. So two versions are there. Two other versions. Here which version is taken? Prakruti Asammatam. Prakruti by the ministers. Asammatam not approved. So here only ministers did not agree to this proposal. But apart from minister, citizens also and Sunita also. That is one version. And other version is in nature only was such that it was not approved by anyone that he should be the king. Third, Shrutva Nrupasanaгаtam Venam Atyugra Shasanam Nililyu Dasavah Sadhyaha Sarpatrasta Iva Khavaha. It was already known that Vena was very severe and cruel. Therefore, as soon as all the thieves and rogues in the state heard of his ascendance to the royal throne, they became very much afraid of him. Indeed, they hid themselves here and there as rats hide themselves from snakes. You are like snake and rats. Like 15 rats are there in your house and just one snake comes. Will it be that 15 rats say, hey, come on, he is only one and we are 15. Let's attack and kill him. Will it be like that? No, they all will run away. In fact, even if they had union before that, the moment they see the snake, they will be all disunited. They'll all run in 15 different directions like that. So Vena was like snake and they were like rats. Purport: when the government is very weak, rogues and thieves flourish. Similarly, when the government is very strong, all the thieves and rogues disappear or hide themselves. Vena was, of course, Vena was not a very good king, but he was known to be cruel and severe. Thus, the state at least became freed from thieves and rogues. So that was the first concern. These thieves and rogues should not disturb or attack the citizen. That was taken care of. But he himself became the king of all the dacoits in one sense, worst of the dacoit or rogues, thieves, and he only attacked the citizen. So then some action had to be taken. Fourth one. Sa arudha prasthana unnadho ashtabhibhutibihi avamene mahabhagan stabdha sambhavitah swatah. When the king ascended to the throne, he became all powerful with 8 kinds of opulences. Consequently, he became too proud. By virtue of his false prestige, he considered himself to be greater than anyone. Thus, he began to insult great personalities. This is a problem with the power. Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. So he was small, so he had some power because he was Rajkumar. And then he was corrupt. He was killing the sons of ministers. Now he has got absolute power. He is the emperor of the entire planet. So he started corrupting absolutely, fully, to maximum limit. So Ashtavibhuti is not Ashtasiddhi. What are Ashtavibhutis? That is not mentioned here. If I remember slightly, it is there in somewhere else. Did you come across? Something like, I think, kingdom, ministers, treasury. It comes, na? Ahead then. Ahead. These 3 I remembered. Then there are 5 more. So that is called as Ashtabhibhuti. Once you become the king, you have this. You have treasury, you have ministers, and they are all supposed to protect you in times of need. When there is poverty or something, then treasury, whatever the king has will be of help. When there is confusing situation, the ministers will guide. Yeah. Oh, really?
His ministers, his kingdom, his fort, his treasury,
kingdom, ministers,
his fort,
fort,
sorry. Fort. Treasury, his royal order, and his friends.
His
instructors, Swami or Guru. A king is always protected by 7 elements.
Acha.
Like that, 7 elements.
Here they are not mentioned only. Prabhupada only says, by dint of mystic yoga practice, kings generally acquired these 8 opulences. Prabhupada is also saying mystic yogis, the Rajarshi could become also smaller than the smallest, greater than the greatest, could get whatever he desired. A Rajarshi could also create a kingdom, bring everyone under his control and rule everyone. These were some of the opulences of a king. King Vena, however, was not practiced in yoga, but he became very proud of his royal position nonetheless. Because he was not very considerate, he began to misuse his power and insult great personalities. Chakravartipad writes, he became proud because of the 8 powers, means he became proud because of possessing wealth from the 8 directions. So it's another meaning. Wealth from 8 directions. That means from all directions. 8 are only there, na? Okay, 10 are there maybe. East, Purva, Pashchim, Dakshin, Uttar, Nairutya, Ishanya, Vayavya, Agneya. Northeast, Northwest, Southeast, Southwest. These are according to demigods. This is only impersonal presentation. Impersonal northeast. Okay, this is north. East is this. So in between this, northeast. So it is very impersonal. But if you see Vedas, Nairutya. Why? Because Nirutti is the demigod. Agneya because Agni is the demigod. Then Vaya because Vayu is the demigod. And Ishanya because Ish is another demigod. So 8 devatas are there in 8 directions. And accordingly, if you know the top of Sumeru mountain, in the middle there is Brahmaji's abode. And in the 8 direction, 8 demigods' abodes are also there on the top of Sumeru mountain itself. They reside in heavenly planets, but on earth or on Sumeru, they should have their resort. So all of them, 8 of them have their 8 resorts. Brahma has in the middle, but other 8 are having in other 8 directions. Because of possessing wealth from the 8 directions, he ruled over the 7 continents. Stabdaha means proud. He boasted that he himself was a warrior and scholar. So if you see here, there is no mention of mystic yoga, what do you call, siddhis. That is 4th. 5th. Evam dandha utsikto nirankusha iva dvipaha paryatan rathamaasthaya kampayanniva rodasi. When he became overly blind due to his opulences, King Vena mounted a chariot and, like an uncontrolled elephant, began to travel through the kingdom, causing the sky and earth to tremble wherever he went. These atrocities have begun. 6th. Na yashtavyam na datavyam na hotavyam dvijaha kachit iti nyavarayan dharma Bheri Ghoshena Sarvashaha. No, no, no. 3 times. All the twice born Brahmins were forbidden henceforward to perform any sacrifice. Yashtavyam. And they were also forbidden to give charity. Datavyam. Or offer clarified butter. Hotavyam. Hom, Havan, Hotavyam. Thus, King Vena sounded kettle drums throughout the countryside. In other words, he stopped all kinds of religious rituals. Yashtavyam, Datavyam, Hotavyam. Sacrifice, charity, and Yagya. Yagya, Dan, not Tapa, but Yagya, Dan, Yagya here. Prabhupada says same thing is happening what happened millions of years back at the atheistic government all over the world today. World situation is so tense that at any moment governments may issue declarations to stop religious rituals. Eventually it will be so degraded, it will be impossible for us men to live on the planet. If you read 12th canto, I'm not sure, is the first chapter or second, whatever. So it talks about around 55 symptoms of Kali Yuga. That what is that? Lavanyam Keshadharanam. Beauty will be based on how long are your hair. That's why men nowadays have long hair. Then Dampati Abhiruchihi. Just by one's liking only, the man and woman will come together under the ties of marriage. You like me, I like you, let's marry. And then afterward they will divorce because I don't like you now. From distance you were very good. I liked you. But now staying together with you for 1 year, I'm hating you. So better separate. So like that. And then Sutratve, something like that. Brahman will be considered Brahmin just by having one Janayu. That's it. Brahmin thread. So in that, one of the things it says that government will levy such heavy taxes on the citizen that citizen will run to forest. They'll think that my God, in the city it is hellish. Better in the forest, there are animals there, fierce animals. They are far better than these unpredictable, fierce government officers who apply this tax, that tax, and this, that, so much. So better go to forest. There also we may be attacked by lion, tiger, but at least they follow some rule at least. Night they will be sleeping at least, and they will not attack you. But here the government can attack you at any time. Therefore, sane people should execute Krishna consciousness very seriously so that they can go back home, back to Godhead, without having to further suffer the miserable conditions predominant predominant in this universe. But then, as Prahlad Maharaj morning Prabhu was telling, doesn't want to go back to Godhead. No evo dvije paratar paraduratteya vaitaranyas tadvirya gayana mahamrita magna chitta soche tato vimukha indriyartha vimudhan maya bharam maya sukhaya bharam udvahato vimudhan. Like that. So till the last fool and rascal goes back home, back to God, I want to be here only, preaching to them like that. So that is another mood also. Okay. First 6, Vena's atrocities. 7 to 13, concerned sages plan to meet Vena and pacify him. 7th. Venasyaveksha munayo durtasya vicheshtitam vimrushya lokavyasanam कृपयोचुः स्म सत्रिणः. Therefore, all the great sages assembled together and after observing cruel Vena's atrocities, concluded that a great danger and catastrophe was approaching the people of the world. Thus, out of compassion, they began to talk amongst themselves, for they themselves were the performers of the sacrifices. Purport Prabhupada says it should be understood that sages, saintly persons, and devotees are not unconcerned with the people's welfare. They are concerned. You see in Tukaram Maharaj's case, when Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj came to meet him, just saw how Tukaram Maharaj is so detached from wealth, post position, etc. He got charmed, attracted, then sat in the class hearing glory. to have lapse. You will again have the disease if you are negligent. So that's why that time would be okay because you are out of sickness. So weakness is when you are totally sick, we all have experience. So swasthya is very important. So 7, 8 one. Aho umayatah praptam.
Aho umayatah praptam. Lokasya vasanamma. Karuni upayobhakte.
When the great sages consulted, they saw that the people were in a dangerous position from both directions. When the fire blazes on both ends of a law, the ants in the middle are in a very dangerous situation. Similarly, at that time, the people in general were in a dangerous position due to an irresponsible king on one side and thieves and rogues on the other. Nice analogy. The strongest thing on which the ants are, if it somehow is set on fire on both sides, it is deadly situation for the ants. Yes.
Initially, it was said that when he came, he and rogue ran away. Now again,
Because now if the king is crowned, then thieves and rogues will be again in power. So both side dangers are there. Na? Just because king is present now, then the citizens are protected from dacoits. But the king himself is also creating problem now for the citizens.
both are right.
Currently only one is there, Vinay is there. But see now if we remove the king, then the dacoits will be again creating problem. Currently the king is there and dacoits are silent. But the king himself is creating problem. So both sides the citizens are in trouble. See earlier they were in trouble because of dacoits. Now they are in trouble because of the king. So they are in trouble. Sages are concerned about. Comment to Chaturthi comments, when a law burns from the root and the tip, the ants in the middle have danger from both sides. The citizens must flee to a fort out of fear of thieves. Isn't it? Thieves are creating thievery and all that in the kingdom. So let's build their fort, king's fort. And in the spirit, they must fear their protector, the king. But now if they go to fort telling King Vena, and then he will only exploit them. Both sides are very dangerous. 9th one. Arajaka bhayadesha.
Bhayadesha. Purana tadarvana.
Thinking to save the state from irregularity, the sages began to consider that it was due to a political crisis that they made reign a king, although he was not qualified. But alas, now the people were being disturbed by the king himself. Under such circumstances, how could the people be happy? In purport Prabhupada says this Yajna, Dan, Tapa, 3 things are for 3 different ashrams. Yajna is for brahmacharis, or Shaligram Prabhu, training me in the Gurukul. Yajna is taught to children. He himself underwent the course upon in GV. He and Sarayu. So Yajna is for learned by brahmacharis. Is done by them. Then Dan for grahasthas. They should give charity because they have money. They have access to so much money. Apart from it, they should give charity. And Tapa is for Vanaprastha and sannyasis. We read 7th page of the last 5 chapters. We find Vanaprastha, severe austerity penance is recommended for them. And sannyasis is preaching in itself. Here, travel, here to watching, some warning, restored in Bhaktivedanta force. Amritsar Prabhu ki, you are also there. I was yes, Jai. My part. Seer of seeing, all things will be seen. So please close your eyes. See and feel. There must be a good government to see that the citizens are actually executing their religious rituals and deal and rules must be followed. If this is done, the people can advance peacefully in spiritual consciousness and make their lives successful. All for consciousness, nothing else. Now they will engage in yajna not kapara, but fortunately, when dangerous king is there, he was beautiful. Right? So that is happened. I heard that in Yudhishthira Maharaj or Parikshit Maharaj, they would go disguised in the kingdom on the intent. Yes, he would go. Yudhishthira. I don't know, citizen he would go. But nobody knew that he is Yudhishthira Maharaj. And then he would check on the students whether everybody is refraining from grains and beans or not. Or somebody is breaking Ekadashi. If somebody is breaking Ekadashi, he has to be punished. Very particular. Amazing, no? Like that king should be there. Just imagine if MLAs and all these chief ministers, they go disguised in the kingdom to check on Ekadashi, whatever, what is happening. Not shooting, but at least shouting. Shouting on the what nonsense. How can you eat grains and beans? Today is Ekadashi, you don't know? And in pantry car, how can you be selling medu vada and potato vada? Non-veg to too much. But even these other things, medu vada, potato vada, other vada, whichever vada, which has onion and garlic also. So nice. 1/6. 1/6. 1/6 is enough, na? Population is too much, especially for Indian kings. 1/6 is good enough to put him in the hell for many millenniums. So that's ninth. Chakravarti says, Atad Arhanaha means not qualified to be king. 10th. Aheriva Payaha Poshaha Poshakasyaप्यनर्थद्भुत् Venaha Prakrutyaiva Khalaha Sunitha Garbha Sambhavaha. The sages began to think within themselves, because he was born from the womb of Sunita, King Vena is by nature very mischievous. Supporting this mischievous king is exactly like maintaining a snake with milk. Now he has become a source of all difficulties. Proper same point that certainly people are aloof from materialistic civilization, but for protecting citizens, whenever supported for protecting citizens from rogues and thieves, but he himself became the source of trouble to the sages also, because he stopped Yajnadanta, which mainly the sages were doing. Certainly, people are especially interested in performing sacrifices and austerities for the advancement of spiritual life. But Vena, instead of being obliged because of the saint's mercy, turned out to be their enemy because he prohibited them from executing their ordinary duties. A serpent who is maintained with milk and bananas simply stores poison in his teeth and awaits the day to bite his master. Ayappana hi bhujanganam kevalam vishavardate. What is the first line? Sarpa khalu, krura khalu, sarpa. No, not this. Anybody remembers? First two lines of this. Payappana hi bhujanganam kevalam vishavardate. Sanatana Goswami tells. Okay. But if you feed milk or banana or both combined, shikran, you give to the snake. By eating it, his poison only increases. And when he bites you, you will be dead for sure. Chakravarti writes, what to speak of being a danger to the citizens? We have made him the king, but he now punishes us by announcing that we cannot perform sacrifice. Citizens are simple, sages are very powerful. To them only he stopped from sacrifices performances. 11th. Nirupitah prajapalah सजिघां सति वै प्रजः तथापि सान्त्वये मामुं नास्मांस्तत्पातकं स्पृशेत्. We appointed this Vena, king of the state But we cannot kill them Omkar. We did that maiden. We can speak. So, to speak of political leaders, they were this plan. Because we should do this Sankirtani. Because they must be appointed him. He was sinful. Shama. Evamadhavasayenam. The great sages having thus decided female, filling their tail and the passive deep in sweet there spoke as well. 15. 14. So 14 to 20 seconds is the sages try to pacify them. So if you want to, this is conflict resolution. You take the things from sages how to speak. You may be able to get rid of the problem you face through this pacification words. Ultimately, we will know. 14. Udayamutu the great sages still need to give you good advice. Really, yes, with great attention. By doing so, the direct life increase and reputation will increase. When king becomes Adani, then this reduce. Are you the moment was touched the hand and Draupadi? Then I reduce. Okay, I'm not going to be long. 3. Opulence. They will include their kingdom. They have not Hastinapur and kingdom was the most pending Pandavas difficult. They were going to lose both. Bala, yeah, despite there being Maharathis, they will be lying in a bloody mess in the soil of Kurukshetra. Kirtina, Kirti also will be lost. A monarchy. In a monarchy, the king is advised by century Muslims and sages. They had that Mantrimantal, Ashtaman Mantrimantal, something like that. 8. And those people will guide the king. Because king is and king is like the water in the dam. And the Brahmanas were like the walls of that dam. If the Brahmanas were in the mode of goodness, don't guide the Kshatriyas who are in passion, they would be dangerous fellows. The dam water, if the walls break, will create devastation. Without water in the dam, people may be having thirst and not quenched. Over a period of time, they may die. But now, having the dam water and the wall breaks, on the spot they will die. The goodness more should control acts. And similarly, Samana should control the speech, this act. 15. Dharma Acharita Dharma. According to religious principles and who follow them by words, mind, body, and intelligence are elevated to the heavenly kingdom, which is devoid of all miseries. Being thus rid of the material influence, they achieve unlimited happiness in life. Who is saying? To whom? So if you lead pious life, religious life, then you see, means with body mind intelligence, then elevation to heavenly kingdom and no miseries, material influence. Uh, being thus rid of the material influence, they achieve unlimited happiness in life. So many glories of this life. They are trying to convince him. There is liberation, anantyam, for those with no material desires, asanginam. No material desires, asangi. No sangha of material enjoyment. So asangi, nam. So then there is liberation, anantyam. 16th. Satema vinashed vira प्रजानां क्षेमलक्षणः यस्मिन् विनष्टे नृपतिर् ऐश्वर्यात् avarohati. The sages continued, O great hero, for this reason you should not be the cause of spoiling the spiritual life of the general populace. If it is, you will end and royal position. King should make sure that all the citizens become righteous and then devotees. On the contrary, he is only spoiling the spiritual life. Prabhupada said earlier there were monarchies everywhere, all over the world. Then monarchy declined to godless life of sense gratification. They were monarchs were making sure life of citizen was religious. But because they degraded, they facilitated sense gratification, monarchies all over the world were abolished. Simply abolishing monarchy and replacing it with democracy is not sufficient unless the government men are religious and follow in the footsteps of great religious personality. The earlier government here only, what was it saying? That Sarva Dharma Samabhava, Nirapeksh, Dharma Nirapekshata. What is it called in English? Secularism, huh? Secularism. So secularism is what? Nobody practices any religion. In short, publicly at least. Privately they may. But now religion is very much promoted. You follow your religion properly, isn't it? Hindus should follow Hinduism nicely. Muslim should follow Islam. Christian should follow Christianity, and like that. So this is good. That has to be there. Otherwise, there is so many problem. Ma vinashet should be ma vinashatu. It will be destroyed. 17. Rajanna sadhvam atyebhyash चोरादिभ्यः प्रजा नृपः रक्षन् यथा बलिं गृह्णन् इह प्रेत्य च मोदते. The saintly persons continued, when the king protects the citizens from the disturbances of mischievous ministers as well as from thieves and rogues, he can, by virtue of such pious activities, accept taxes given by his subjects. Thus, a pious king can certainly enjoy himself in this world as well as in the life after death. He has some homework to do, and after that, the king can enjoy the benefit of taxes collected. Not just like that, isn't it? What he has to do? Protect the citizens from mischievous ministers. Ministers themselves can be mischievous, so they have to be the citizens have to be protected, and also thieves and rogues. Then tax collection. The benefit is enjoy in this world and life after death. Purport. Formerly, ministers were appointed by the king and were not elected. Isn't it? That is not so good. 18th. यस्य राष्ट्रे पुरे चैव इज्जते स्वेन धर्मेण जनैर्वर्णाश्रमान्वितैः. The king is supposed to be pious, in whose state and cities the general populace strictly observes the system of 8 social orders of Varna and Ashram, and where all citizens engage in worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead by their particular occupations. So Varnashram is prominent and worshipping the Lord. This way, karmani abhirata. Karmani abhirata. They are engaged in their own particular occupation. Sasya karmani abhirata. You can see in Bhagavad Gita it is there, no? And then they should samsiddhim labate nara. Then they will be samsiddhi, supreme destination or perfection they will achieve. Then next, swakarma niratah siddhim yatha vindati sashunu. Just read the second line. Translation. Krishna is going to describe that. In the purport, Prabhupada writes, the state's duty and the citizen's duty are very nicely explained in this verse. Basically, ultimately, everyone should engage in devotional service.
Arjuna Priya Prabhu, are you in contact with Vilas
Hare
Vardhan?
Krishna, bro. Hare Krishna.
Are you in contact with Vilas Vardhan Prabhu?
नो प्रभु, बट मैं आशा करता हूँ कि वो हमारा भला चाह रहे हैं। वो अपने हिसाब से लगे हुए होंगे तो वो कर ही रहे होंगे इस प्रकार से।
So that is 21st. You should entreat the citizens to be worshippers, yajataha, for your prosperity. 22nd. यज्ञेन युष्मद् विषये द्विजातिभिर् वितायमानेन सुरः कला हरेः स्विष्टः सुतुष्टः प्रदिशन्ति वाञ्छितम् When all the Brahmins engage in performing sacrifices in your kingdom, all the demigods who are clearly expansions of the Lord will be very much satisfied by their activities and will give you your desired result. Therefore, O hero, do not stop the sacrificial performances. If you stop them, you will disrespect the demigods. They clearly told, Cheshtitum is to do. Clear comes this way. Do not stop. 23rd to 28 is Venas. I don't want to reply to say this. So, we'll give a break here. Come back after 15 minutes. What happened to Zoom?
Internet, temple internet not working properly.
Are you going to be here?
Yes.
जैसे हाँ यस बोले वैसे मैं भी बोलता हूँ ओके ठीक है वही शब्द इंग्लिश में भी और हिंदी में भी ओके ठीक है हाँ यस हाँ यस
हरे कृष्णा। तो ये क्या इशू है?
इंटरनेट का
क्या इशू
इश्यू
है
चल
प्रभु
रहा
जी?
है।
इंटरनेट?
हाँ, इसलिए इंटरनेट का इश्यू चल रहा है, इसलिए आप लोगों को दिक्कत आ रहा है। पूरे टेम्पल का इंटरनेट कार्यबल है। ये भी मैंने भी अपने फोन से लगाया है, तो आ रहा है जा
आवाज
रहा
भी क्लियर, आवाज साउंड भी इतना क्लियर नहीं होता।
है। तो फिर इसलिए मैं अभी वो इश्यू
कॉल
कब
एक कॉल करेंगे क्या?
तक
कॉल कर रहे हैं क्या मोबाइल पे? क्या बोलना चाह रहे हैं क्लियर? कॉल कर
क्या?
लीजिए। एक कॉल मेरे पर्सनल कॉल करेंगे क्या? कोई सुनाई नहीं दे रहा है आप क्या बोल रहे हैं पर।
अच्छा, वॉइस इज नॉट कमिंग।
हाँ,
हाँ
क्लियर
ये
नहीं सुनाई
आवाज
दे
आ
रहा
रही
है।
है। थोड़ा पास से बोलो, माइक के एको आ रहा है। और अभी
हाँ,
अभी
उनका तो आ
ब्रेक
रहा है पर्जन्य प्रिय प्रभु का। आपका इतना क्लियर नहीं आ रहा।
अभी ब्रेक हुआ है क्या?
हाँ यस ब्रो, अभी
ठीक है।
ब्रेक है,
हम
ब्रेक।
हम आप जो
ब्रेक।
भी अपनी तरफ से कर रहे हैं उसकी सराहना करते हैं। बट थोड़ा क्वालिटी वॉइस की अच्छी कर दीजिए। प्रभु जी को से ठीक ही आ रही थी, माइक उनके पास रखिए। वीडियो थोड़ा कम भी चलेगा।
अभी तक आप लोग को आवाज आ रहा था कि नहीं आ रहा था?
हाँ अब बेटर आवाज आ रहा है।
हाँ, तो कहना ये कह रहा ब्रेक है, इंटरनेट का इशू चल रहा है।
अच्छा।
इसलिए भरोसा नहीं, बार बार आ रहा है जा रहा है इंटरनेट। तो
ओके।
अभी मैंने हॉटस्पॉट से लगाया है आप
ठीक
लोगों
है।
के लिए।
अच्छा।
इसलिए जल्दी से आप लोग ऑफलाइन में देंगे तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं होगा।
यस।
मैं आ रहा हूँ, मैं कल आ रहा हूँ सुबह।
कृष्णा अभी 12:30 पे स्टार्ट करेंगे क्लास। ब्रेक है 15 मिनट।
Hare Krishna. So do we begin? 23rd to 28th verses talk about Vena's arrogant reply to sages. Twenty-third. Vena uvacha बालिशा बत यूयं वा अधर्मे धर्ममानिनः ये वृत्तिदं पतिं हित्वा जारं पतिमुपासते. King Vena replied, "You are not at all experienced, Balisha, childish. It is very much regrettable that you are maintaining something which is not religious. Adharme dharma manina. You are considering adharma to be dharma and are accepting it as religious. Indeed, I think you are giving up your real husband, Patim Hitva, who maintains you, Vrittidam, and are searching after some paramour to worship. Jaram Patim Upasate. Jaram is paramour. He is giving analogy also. You are considering irreligion to be religion and giving up your real husband, searching for paramour. And you are all not at all experienced. Balisha. Childish. King Vena was so foolish that he accused the saintly sages of being inexperienced like small children. He was accusing them of not having perfect knowledge. In this way, he could reject their advice and make accusations against them, comparing them to a woman who does not care for her husband, who maintains her, but goes to satisfy a paramour who does not maintain her. It is the duty of the Kshatriyas to engage the Brahmins in different types of religious activities, and the king is supposed to be the maintainer of the Brahmins. If the Brahmins do not worship the king, but instead go to the demigods, they are as polluted as unchaste women. That is true in general, but here what kind of king is he? The atrocious king. Or Chakravarti's commentary says, I am your maintainer. If I forbid you to pluck fruits or roots today, you will immediately die. So much. He's taking God's position only. So God provides, decides every food particle for every living entity. Saying, if I forbid you to pluck fruits or roots today, you will immediately die. No. He may, just like for Prahlad, his own father, Hiranyakashipu, the top ruler of the creation of the universe, stopped him from eating food. But Prahlad was nicely maintained in the jail. They were starving him to death. But Mother Lakshmi personally came and in the form of Kayadu and fed him. And Prahlad was, hi mother, you came. Yeah, how can I remain without you? And she personally fed him. Not home delivery or cell delivery, that prison cell delivery, mouth delivery. Personally, Mother Lakshmi fed him and he was taken care of. Though Hiranyakashipu was not allowing fruits or roots also to Prahlad, Prahlad got full feast. Mother Lakshmi maintained him. But he has become very arrogant. 24th. Avajananti ami mudha nruparupinamishwaram nanu vindanti te vadram iha loke paratracha. Those who, out of gross ignorance, do not worship the king, who is actually the supreme personality of Godhead, experience happiness neither in this world nor in the world after death. All his philosophy. Philosophically, it is true, but he is all for himself only. Just like Daksha was saying in that Daksha Yagya. I am not envious of anyone. That you should know. I am just speaking the truth. That's it. Like that. So our philosophy is very malleable. You can use it anywhere and justify your own nonsensical activities. We need to be extremely careful, isn't it? Especially arrogance comes in us. We have to know. Mostly we are treading dangerous path. Leadership role can lead to arrogance because you are the top ruler. All are subordinates. All are supposed to be yes men. One person may become no man. All are yes men, but one may be no man, and that no man, I don't want him to be there. No man, this man should not be here. Like that, the tendency may come, and we may become arrogant, and we may become angry. We may speak ill words, ill names we may give with justification by using slokas also. You can give slokas, isn't it? Scriptures have all varieties of slokas, na? So you can quote. Oh, I'm not at fault. He is only at fault. I'll prove that. And he should be removed. That Vaishnava Ninda seminar you can attend. If not Thursday, Friday, at least Saturday, Sunday, whole day. And know how it is very deadly. You can do anything and everything, but not Vaishnava Aparadhi. That's why Vaishnava Aparadhi is removed from the Vaishnava community by Lord himself and sent outside in the midst of materialistic people where the devotee may commit sinful activities. Lord feels this is not a problem. Millions of lifetimes of sinful activities can be eradicated by one Namabhas chanting. But if he continues to be in the midst of Vaishnavas and continue offenses, he will go to hell. He will be dangerous. So better for his own safety, I remove him from Vaishnava community. But then we will be at loss if we are removed from Vaishnava community. That's why one has to take extreme caution. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said only two things. प्रभु कहे वैष्णव सेवा नाम संकीर्तन दुई कर शीघ्र पावे श्री चैतन्य चरण. Sorry, Sri Krishna Charan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, how will he say that? Very quickly he will achieve lotus feet. Shigra Pabe, Dui Kara Shigra Pabe, Sri Krishna Charan. What two things? Vaishnava Seva and Nam Sankirtan. Vaishnava Seva is possible only when you have gratitude to that devotee and you have respect to that devotee. Gratitude is inside, then pranam, that means respect through pranam, etc., through sweet words, and seva, some kind of seva, physical service, vapu seva also possible. So one has to be extreme. Now you see how he is going to act, completely offending Vaishnavas, sages who are Vaishnavas. So I think those who out of gross ignorance do not worship the king who is actually the supreme person of Godhead experience happiness neither in this world nor in the world after death. 25th. युको यज्ञ पुरुषो नाम यत्र वो भक्तिरिदृशी भर्तृ स्नेह विदुराणाम यथा जारे कुयोषिताम. You are so much devoted to the demigods, but who are they? Indeed, your affection for these demigods is exactly like the affection of an unchaste woman who neglects her married life and gives all attention to her paramour. Prabhupada says demigods are friends of the devotees, and he is offending all the demigods by calling them to be paramour. And all these sages, citizens, they are married to him. He is supreme self-guarded. Neglecting supreme guarded, if he worships demigods, he is unchaste woman. Philosophically, application is completely wrong. This shows how he is a bookworm. He has bookish knowledge. He has knowledge, but he doesn't have realization. Vigyan, he is not known to him. How to apply the knowledge is not known. Same thing with Daksha also. Every Vaishnava offender will misapply the philosophy. 26th, 27th. Yeah. Vishnurvirincho Girisha Indro Vayuryamo Ravihi Arjanyo Dhanadaha Somaha Kshitir Agnir Avampatihi Kshitir Apampatihi Ete Channe Cha Vibhudaha प्रभवो वर्षापयोः देहे भवन्ति नृपतेः सर्वदेवमयो नृपः. Lord Vishnu, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Indra, Vayu, the master of air, Yama, the superintendent of death, the sun god, the director of rainfall, Kuvera, treasurer, the moon god, the predominating deity of the earth, Agni, the fire god, Varuna, the lord of waters, and all others who are great and competent to bestow benedictions or to curse, all abide in the body of the king. For this reason, the king is known as the reservoir of all demigods, who are simply parts and parcels of the king's body. This is true. Agreed. But all that, and saying that all demigods are in my body, you fools, why do you worship demigod? You worship me only, na? This becomes arrogance. If you know that Kolatunga story, yeah, our, what is his name? Not my, Ramanacharya's, Yamunacharya. Yamunacharya, when he was Yamuna, small boy in the Gurukul, his teacher, the sage, whosoever he was in debt to the king because he was defeated or something like that. So when they came to Gurukul, the sage was not there, his guru was not there. And soldiers of the king were very arrogant. Where is your guru? Huh? Where is your guru? Arey, speak little respectfully. He is a great saint. What saint? He has been defeated by our minister of the king. Huh? He has to pay the tax. Where is he? Like that. So then Yamuna also became angry. And Yamuna said, what nonsense are you speaking? What? So he had a debate and all this. I will defeat your minister of your king and all that. Okay. So they went back and they informed the king. King said, oh really? So okay. So call him here. So then he said, I will come only when palanquin is sent. That I am going to defeat him. I am not an ordinary person. So they sent palanquin also. So he went in palanquin and the debate was there. So then question answer. Whatever Kolatunga asked the minister, Yamuna easily answered. He said, now I have questions for you. Let's see whether you can answer. He said, yes, no problem. So one of the things, 3 questions I think, but one he said, you have to prove my statement is wrong, that the queen is very unchaste. Unchaste wife. I said, what proof is required? This is completely wrong. And the king was also wondering, queen is unchaste? She has some extramarital affair or what? And the queen was very blissful because queen by just seeing Yamuna, small boy, she was charmed. And she told the king just like that, this boy will defeat your minister who is so arrogant. Just see today. And the king said, what nonsense. Don't you know the past record? How he has defeated every scholar, big pandits and all that. So he will not be defeated. Queen said, no, he will be defeated, you see. So then the queen said, if he gets, he conquers, the child conquers, then no, if your minister conquers, or what you call, becomes victorious, then I will become your maid servant for whole life. Then the king said, oh really? And if my minister is defeated by this boy, then I will give half the kingdom to this boy. And she said, done. Like that. So queen was very happy because she was always from the beginning. From the beginning only she was on the side of Yamuna. So when she heard that statement that the minister has to prove that queen is unchaste. So then there was a disturbance and he became angry. He wanted to, what you call, gain the sympathy of the family. How can he say like, does he mean that the queen is unchaste woman? This is completely unfair. This is blame on the queen and king. Like that he started shouting. And Yamuna was cool. Yamuna said, this is not the way. You have not proved it properly. Then he said, okay, if you feel that this is, you know better, then you tell how it is so, how the queen. Then Yamuna says, within the body of the king, all the demigods reside. So thus queen, our queen, who is so chaste to her husband, the king alone, she knows no other man on earth. But still, unknowingly, she is also associating with all the demigods who are residing in the body of the king, her husband. So that way she is unchaste. And the king was happy, Haribol. The queen was happy, Haribol, Haribol. What a glorification of the king. Amazing. And what a glorification of the queen. She is so chaste to her husband only, no having no connection with any man. But because all the demigods reside in the body of the king, she is unknowingly associating with other demigods also. So that way she is unchaste, like that. And then all three statements he could not refute like that. He said, prove that your mother is Banj, a barren lady. He said, what nonsense? I am the son of my mother. How can she be barren? Barren woman means who cannot produce one child also. And he is already the son. And he has to prove his mother is barren. He was very upset. Nonsense, this is insult to me. I cannot tolerate this. And he raised his voice. And Yamuna was cool. He said, okay, if you feel, you prove then how it is so. Then he said, scriptures say any woman who has only one son, she is barren. At least two sons have to be there. Then she is considered as proper lady, mother, and not a barren woman. So one son means barren, and you are the only son of your mother. And he had to agree, yeah, I am the only son. I don't have brother. So she is barren, proved like that. And one more. The king is very sinful. You have to. King is not sinful. That means he has to prove king is sinful. So that will become a king will kill him, no? If he proves that king is sinful. And he knows no bad account of the king by which he can prove that king is sinful. So he said, this is direct blame on king, nonsense, this, that. Yamuna was cool. It's okay. If you want, you show how it is. And then he said, 1/6 of the sinful reactions of the citizen, the king has to accept according to scriptures. And even if king is very righteous, pious and all that, in the kingdom there are people who are committing sins. And that 1/6 will come to him, that way he is sinful. And king was ecstatic, dancing. And then I think queen says, na, Alavandru, Alavandru. That means what? Genius. Mm, what you call, unmatched kind of. Huh? Like nobody can match with him, something, supreme glorification. And then, true to his word, king gave half the kingdom to Yamuna. And Yamuna became the king. From small brahmachari boy, 12 years old, now he's the king. And then he got carried away, wealth and women. But then his grandfather, Nath Muni, arranged Ram Mishra, one Brahmin, to get him back. Nath Muni left body, but Ram Mishra brought him back. And he became a great Acharya of Sri Sampradaya, Yamuna Acharya. And he wanted successor to be Ramanujacharya. But before even Ramanujacharya could meet him, Yamunacharya left body. So then Ramanujacharya reached, but then he was unhappy that Yamunacharya wanted to meet me, but I could not reach in time, and he left body. But on the funeral pyre only, where body of Yamunacharya was lying, he saw something amazing. 3 fingers of Yamunacharya were closed. He asked the disciples, was it like this always? Was he like Madhvacharya you have seen? He would sit for a class like this. Why? Because no sound system. In case somebody who is outside the temple hall watching this great Madhvacharya giving class, but he can't hear him. What is he speaking? How God and you are two different personalities. In case he can't hear it, he can see at least. He's sitting like this in the class. Anything gesture he wants to do, he can do with left hand. But he's sitting, he's not going to change this posture. That means God and living entity are two different. Dvaita. No Advaita like that. So he would sit like that, Madhvacharya. Always, almost. But was Yamunacharya sitting? He said, no, he was never like this. So then Ramanacharya understood that he has 3 unfulfilled desires and he took 3 vows. And as he took first vow, in the glorification of the Lord, he will write Shri Bhashya. So immediately one finger opened and all the disciples were shocked. Then in the memory of Parashar, Vyasdev's father, I will name one of my disciples as Parashar Bhatta and one more. So then third finger also opened up and everybody was stunned. And Ramanacharya became the next Acharya of Sri Sampradaya. Anyway, we went in Sri Sampradaya. Let us come back to Anyway, Bhagavatam is for all sampradayas, but still our monopoly. We studied thoroughly, especially through Bhakti Vaibhav course and Bhaktivedanta also. Okay, where were we? Agni, the fire, the Varun, the Lord of waters, and all others who are great and competent to bestow benedictions or to curse, all abide in the body of the king. For this reason, the king is known as the reservoir of all demigods, who are simply parts and parcels of the king body. Same thing is said for Guru also. Sarvadeva Mayo Guru. Acharya Mam Vijanyam. Know the Acharya to be myself. Na avamanyeta karichi. Never disrespect an Acharya. Guru should not be disrespected. Namartya buddhi asuyata. Never impose materialistic, hellish conception of your guru being an ordinary human being. Namartya buddhi. Don't think he's a mundane mortal. No, he's transcendental. Namartya buddhi asuyata. Don't be envious of your guru. When the disciple is on the material platform, in the material conception of life, he'll be envious of his guru. Are what is this? Guru Maharaj said, can I have AC car? 10 grihasthas came, bringing their posh cars. And they're fighting, no, my car, Guru Maharaj, no, my car, and all that, and all cars are high, nice car. And when I want to go for preaching program, even temple does not give ordinary Mahavan or Madhuvan. What is this? So when disciple has materialistic mindset, he may become envious of his guru. Namartya buddhi asuyeta sarva deva mayo guru. Guru is reservoir of all the demigods. All the demigods reside in the body of guru. So every morning when we are doing Prabhupada's puja or Guru puja, you are worshipping all the demigods. All 33 crore demigods are pleased with you. You don't have to worry about Shani has started, Shani Dasha, Sadesati, or Mangal is very bad for me, or moon is in my 6th house or 10th house. You don't have to worry. You be in the house of Prabhupada in Guru Puja, you are worshipping all the demigods. Sarva Deva Maya Guru. So that is 27th, 26, 27, 28. Tasmai karma bhiru yajadhvam gatamatsaraha बलिं च मह्यं हरता मत्वन्यः को अग्रभुक्पुमान्. King Vena continued, for this reason, O Brahmins, you should abandon your envy of me, and by your ritualistic activities you should worship me and offer me all paraphernalia. If you are intelligent, you should know that there is no personality superior to me who can accept the first oblations of all sacrifices. Even Krishna, when he directed the Indra Puja, he did not direct it to himself. I am the supreme person Godhead. You fools, you think I am your son or I am just one of the ordinary Brajavasis. No, 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 no. I am the supreme person. Have you not seen? At the 6th day only I killed Putana. When I was 3 months old, I killed Shaktasur. When I was just 1 year old, I killed Trunavat. And so many things, At just 3 years old, and I uprooted 2 huge Yamalarjun trees. So henceforth, you direct all the worship to me. All this paraphernalia. He did not say that. That Govardhan, Brahmanas, and cows. These are what are worshipable. So let us offer like that. And in fact, when he only by his divine arrangement, he arranged Govardhan personified, a huge form of the Lord. Govardhan only in the form like that. He said, hey, Govardhan has personally so pleased with our worship. He has personally manifested. Let us go. And Krishna only bowed down first. And then everybody had to bow down. He spoke convincingly. And apani acharya Prabhu, Shikhayu Shabare. By his own behavior, he showed how one should bow down. So everybody bowed down. So Krishna also directed the whole worship paraphernalia to Govardhan, not to himself. But here he is saying, with all this paraphernalia, you should worship me only. If you are intelligent, you should know that there is no personality superior to me. Matta parataram nanyat. Who can accept the first oblations of all sacrifices. So this is height of arrogance. Too much. That's why pride comes before a fall. Actually, before falling down materially also, physically also, pride comes. Like some kichad is there, slippery, and some dude, hey Prabhu, be careful. What careful? And he slips. And somehow he falls down, his dhoti kurta is dirty. So he was proud, what kichad and all. अरे मैं तो भवसागर को पार करने वाला हूँ, ये कीचड़ क्या बड़ी बात. और देखता भी नहीं सामने. He doesn't even look in front. Then he slips. He fell down. The pride was there before physical fall down. And same thing, pride is the subtle fall down before our spiritual fall down takes place. How many of you experience that you become proud? You did some mistake because of your internal pride, some offense to Vaishnava, and then you were beaten up by Krishna. Nice lesson was taught to you. I get those lessons now also. Little arrogance here and there. Others may not detect it. Others may feel, yeah, Prabhu is correct only. But I was arrogant. I was wrong. I committed Vaishnava aparadh. Krishna punishes wonderfully. Nice slap or kick, something he gives, which is nicely realized. It's painful, but pleasurably painful. Because we know Krishna is my protector. He does not like pride in me. And he is kindly correcting me through his slaps and kicks. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for this correction. But please make sure that I don't go on the wrong path only. Let there be no pride in my heart. Useless foolishness. Like that. Krishna said that in Bhagavad Gita last chapter, after Sarva Dharman Parityajya, what is saying? Machchitta Sarva Durgani Mat Prasadat Tarishyati. Machchitta, fix your mind upon me. Mat Prasadat, by my mercy. Machchitta Sarva Durgani, all the obstacles. Mat Prasadat, by my mercy. Tarishyasi, you will cross them all. Mama Maya, Durattiya, this whole Bhavasagar is like ocean of birth and death. Nobody can cross. But he's saying, by my mercy, you will be able to cross. Atachettu ahankara. But if you are proud, na shrosyasi vinangshasi. Because of your pride, you don't hear me. We don't hear scriptures. We don't hear Guru. We don't hear Vaishnavas when we are proud. Hey, what do they know? I know better. This devotee is wrong only. He's nonsense only. And you speak some ill words, and then you are proud. You speak something wrong, that is Vaishnava aparadh, and then vinangshasi, you are destroyed. At least slapped and kicked. Krishna does not destroy devotees, but he destroys the pride in the heart of the devotee. That's why Indra was not killed, isn't it? In that worshipping the Govardhan hill, that pastime, like you can see words used for the chapters also. Kaliya subdued, not killed. But other, if you see, deliverance of Putana, and words are used. But Kaliya subdued, is not killed, is corrected. Similarly, Indra also. What is the name? That worship of Govardhan hill only is the name, I think. There are 3 chapters as such. But directly related to Indra. But at least Indra at the end in prayer says, "Oh Lord, you had the capacity to kill me, but you are merciful to your devotee. You only are smashing my pride. You smashed my pride. Thank you." So here he is highly arrogant. That is 28th. Now 29 to 35, these 7 verses talk about the sages kill Vena. Sunitha preserves his dead body with mantras. So are you ready to kill Vena? You don't kill. Sages will kill. You only watch the show and pray for him. Prepare funeral pyre. Garland can be kept ready. Maybe Ganga Jal and Tulsi Dal also can be ready. Like that. So angry sages kill Vena. Going to attend the last final visit. Be ready. Maitreya Vacha Itham Viparyayamatihi Papiyanutpatham Gataha Anuniyamanastadyachnam न चक्रे भ्रष्टमंगलः. The great sage Maitreya continued, thus the king who became unintelligent due to his sinful life and deviation from the right path became actually bereft of all good fortune. He could not accept the requests of the great sages, which the sages put before him with great respect, and therefore he was condemned. They very respectfully guided him, instructed him for his benefit, for his elevation, for his accruing, getting some pious credits, etc. But then he insulted them. Just by insulting others, we get condemned. if a person goes on the street, he doesn't know that person, some person is on the street and just gives a tight slap, what will be the result? That man also will give him back tight slap like that. And in case he just speaks ill words to him, you nonsense, you rascal, some things like that, what will he do? He will also speak like that. So when one person speaks, and then he may be that I insulted him, but then when he insults back that other person, then he feels also insulted. But actually, just by blaspheming great souls, we are condemned. Our misfortune has already begun. Whether that person condemns you back or not, mostly he will not, because he's a great person. Greatness of a person has to be estimated by his ability to tolerate provoking situations. So you provoked him with your agitating words. Anudvega karam vakyam satyam priyam hitam ched. One should not speak agitating words. Anudvega. But your words were udveg words. So he should have become agitated, but he will not become agitated if he is great person. So he will not condemn you back, he will not curse you back, but your misfortune has already begun. Already begun. Your fall down has already begun. Pride is the subtle fall down. What follows is a gross fall down. What follows is just a detail. Pride in itself is fall down, subtle fall down. So one has to be extremely careful. And where does pride come from? From Agyan. We think very high of ourselves. So imagine now I have 10 kg of golden ornaments on my body. I have golden necklace here, and men cannot have angles, but what else? You can have armlets, gold chain, and golden helmet, golden shoes, and what else could be golden? Earring, huh? Okay, take a chalo, earring. So 10 kg of gold I have. Now whom do you see wearing 10 kg of gold on the body? Women wear more gold, golden ornaments. But even women you will not find 10 kg because that will be too heavy also for them and all that. So I have 10 kg. I can be most proud fellow on the planet and I am also. Now I go walking all over the planet Earth showing everyone. I go to Himalayas, I go to Pakistan, I go to London, America, everywhere. And then walking. I cross Bharatvarsh, I cross Harivarsh, I cross Kimpurushvarsh, and I reach the middle of the Jambudvip. Hmm? That and the Golden Mountain, Sumeru, is next to me, and I stand there. So now what happens? Will I be proud? I will feel very insignificant. Arre, my whole body is also golden. I am a golden statue. Then also I will be nothing in front of this 1 lakh yojan Sumeru mountain of solid gold. It is not a hollow covering of gold, or not an iron mountain with gold plated. No, it's a solid gold mountain of 1 lakh yojana, means 8 lakh miles, 12 lakh kilometer high height, 84,000 yojanas above the Bhumandal, 16,000 yojanas below the Bhumandal. So when I am standing, okay, chalo, all 1 lakh yojan is not visible, only 84,000 yojanas is visible, but still in front of that my 10 kg of golden ornaments, what pride will it be? In fact, pride will be smashed. I'll feel very insignificant. I'll feel like I should take that chisel and hammer or something and whatever, pluck out some whatever 100 or 1 to 1,000 kg of gold, which will not be big loss for Sumeru mountain, but I could have sufficient gain, isn't it? My pride will be smashed. So like that. That's why we should go in front of the great souls. Then our anartha of pride will go down. Nastya prayeshu badreshu nityam bhagavata seva. Bhagavats are of two types. Book Bhagavat and person Bhagavat. So when you go in front of the great souls, your pride anartha is destroyed. Dambam mahadupasaya. False pride is destroyed by serving great mahadupasaya. So we should serve great souls. Only when we are not surrounded by great souls and we are the king of our territory. Shanwarpet voice. Raurkela voice. For me, to all India voices are my voices. So we can be very proud. अरे ये सब मेरा इलाका है, मैं यहाँ का दादा हूँ, गुंडा हूँ, the terrorist, Tusker, whatever. Like that. So, like that. But in front, just like I said, 10 kg gold can lead to a lot of pride. But when you go in front of Sumeru mountain, not even in front, you are approaching from 10 kilometers only, or 100 kilometers, you'll see, my God, what is that all gold so tall? What to speak when you are 99 kilometers away, 98, then 10, oh my God. From there only your pride will evaporate. And when you are next to it, you will be like, your neck will have complete permanent damage trying to, and that too it is what do you call inverted cone, na? So all the more difficult. Anyway, it's better than this one because this way you cannot see the tip in one sense, but this is inverted, so you can see the top, but it is so high, your neck will experience a big problem. At least your pride will be smashed for sure. So thus one should go to great souls, hear from them to get pride smashed. So because of agyan, ahankara, vimudhatma, anybody who is ahankari is a fool number one. He thinks high of himself. But when we read just the distances between like earth, what do you call that, Bhurlok and Bhuvarlok, just the distance between, you'll hear next fifth canto, that itself will make you humble. Several lakhs of yojanas. My God. That Lokalok mountains, and beyond that there is the Bhumi. It is so golden, Bhumi, that any objects falls in that and so effulgent, the objects cannot be visible only. Once lost only. Like this you can do, you are like blinded because of so much light, golden light coming. If you get it, touch it, fine. If not, you just can't see it with eyes. It's such a effulgent light comes from the soil itself. So such kind of lands exist. So who are we? We are nothing. Anyway, here where were we? 29 or? Yeah. And therefore he was condemned. They put forth their proposal with great respect, but he did not respect them, so he was condemned. 30th. Iti te asatkrutastena dvijaha panditamānina भग्नायां भव्य याचनायां तस्मै vidura chakruduhu. My dear Vidura, all good fortune unto you. The foolish king, who thought himself very learned, thus insulted the great sages, and the sages, being broken hearted by the king's words, became very angry at him. Vijaha Pandita Manina. Same thing, Indra also accuses Krishna of. Vachalam Balisham Stabdham Agya Pandita Manina. Pandita Manina. This boy, 7-year-old though, thinks himself very great learned. But actually is Balish, is child. Is child also and childish also. One thing is being child, another thing is being childish, isn't it? Sometimes a grown-up person may not be child, means he is not child. Child is what? Up to what age you can say? Chalo, up to 12 you will say, isn't it? After the teens kind of. So up to 12 understood that boy is child. But somebody is 18 years old, 20 years, 30 years old, he may not be child, but he can be childish. So he's saying Balisha, he is childish. He child also because 7 years old only. Achalam, is talkative, too much talking. Baba, for whom is this sacrifice meant? Like that. So he is derogatory in his speech. He is insulting Krishna. Vachalam, Balisham, Staptam. He is arrogant. Whatever Indra has problems, he is imposing them all on Krishna. Indra is so grown up. He is lakhs of years old. And he is becoming childish by calling Krishna to be just an ordinary child and childish, frivolous. Stabdam Panditamanina. He thinks he is Pandit. Saying that why should we give to this Indra, this puja? He is a fool. If he is only giving rains to us, is he just giving rains only on Brajabhumi? He is giving rains on salt ocean also. What is the use? So much water he pours down there. Water, ocean doesn't require. And waterfalls, that pure water gets converted into salty water. He's destroying all that good water. And he's wasting water. He's a fool number one. Hmm. But he's calling Krishna to be a fool. You understand? So that's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, when I see fault in others, you know, they say, when you see fault in others, he is like this. So then you are three times having faults. One finger is towards him, but three fingers are towards you. And because we show faults of others with this forefinger, tarjani, na? So that's why we are not supposed to touch the beads. Now, bead bag you can touch. Beads you are not supposed to touch with your tarjani, forefinger. It's an offense. Similarly, shaking beads is another offense. And swinging also. Swinging beads also is an offense. All these are offenses. There is a verse which Srila Maharaj quoted, I was telling, no? In that I was reading in Vedavis, Anirvido, Nirvid, Mantrartha, Chintanam, all that. So there the explanation is there. Shivaram Swami Maharaj also quoted in his book. Maharaj told me Sachidanand Maharaj book, in Gayatri book. But when I gave search in Vedavis, it is also there in Shivaram Maharaj book, some book. So there also it is mentioned. Pride is dangerous than lust also. In case somebody brahmachari experiences nightfall, semen is lost in the night, so he'll become humble. My God. So lust will, then you'll be very much humble to devotees. You will try to serve them. Okay, today morning I will serve prasadam. I think I'm rascal. That's why I experience seminal loss. So he'll become humble. Lust will bring one closer to devotees, will make him humble. Pride takes him away from devotee. Who are these devotees there on the open? I am a great soul. So he's taken away. That's why pride is very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. The sages were mistreated. Asat krutaha by Vena, Tena. We read 29th, no? 30th also. 30th, 31st. Hanyatam hanyatamesh आपः प्रकृतिदारुणः जीवज्जगद् असावासु कुरुते भस्मसात् ध्रुवम्. All the great saintly sages immediately cried, kill him, hanyatam, hanyatam. He is the most dreadful, sinful person. If he lives, he will certainly turn the whole world into ashes in no time. So it's very easy words, hanyatam, but don't use in your life. Kill him, kill him. I am the department head and this person is not subordinating. Hanyatam, hanyatam. Don't use like that. And the subordinates will not listen to you. They will ask, ये इसका मतलब क्या है? Kill him. अच्छा, kill you. We'll kill you only then. Saintly persons are generally very kind to all kinds of living entities, but they are not unhappy when a serpent or a scorpion is killed. Prabhupada's pastime is there. When he was Grahastha and visited Chaitanya Math in Mayapur, there is that, how many of you know that room of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur? When you are coming from ISKCON temple to Chaitanya Math, that right side in the field is Murari Gupta's house, but not there, on the main road only, just on the right side. You enter through this door and you keep walking. So before even Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's Samadhi, there is some building kind of structure there, Brahmacharya Ashram. And so that is the first floor was the room of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So they have preserved it. Nowadays, ground floor and all brahmacharis and sannyasis stay. That was his room. So once Prabhupada, when he visited there, somehow there was a snake. And there was a commotion then. Snake, snake, snake. All people are wondering where snake, they have to protect themselves. Hearing this loud noise, Bhaktivinoda Thakur came out of the room in the balcony. You have seen that? There is a balcony there. So he came. He said, what happened? Then one disciple said, Guru Maharaj, snake is there. Kill it immediately. Bhaktivinoda Thakur said. Prabhupada, as a grahastha, you are shocked. Hey? Guru Maharaj is supposed to be very compassionate to all the living entities, no? Suhrudam Sarva Bhutanam is said for pure devotee also. Hmm? How come he is ordering to kill the snake? But anyway, that devotee went around here then found the snake and killed it. Then Prabhupada, he was confused. After some days or months, he was reading seventh canto, and he happened to read one of the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj, where he says, Modeta sadhurapi ruchika sarpa hatya. Even sadhus are pleased when the sarpa or ruchik, etc., that means snakes or scorpions are killed. That does not mean that you go in the forest and see the snake holes and put some instruments inside and the snake comes out and you kill it. Not like that. In your own residential area, if snake, poisonous cobra or something comes, then in order to protect devotees, you may have to kill that snake. You understand? What is important? Let the snake kill a devotee, because we should not kill snakes. Because Jivdaya, na? What to speak if that snake is crawling around Jivdaya department, that building. So how can we kill a Jiva next to Jivdaya department? Isn't it? Or let's say it has entered in Jivdaya department only inside. So what will you do? Oh no, this is Jivdaya department. We cannot kill a Jiva. But that Jiva will kill our devotee Jivas, 5, 6 employees and the heads, isn't it? And the visitors also who come to take books. They will not get books, they will get poison. So we have to do the needful then. That's so Modeta become pleased. Sadhurapi, even the sadhus. Ruchika sarpahatya, when the scorpions and snakes are killed. This should not be misapplied.
Like if there is option of like calling the snake catcher people and giving it to them,
Yes.
that is better or this is better? Because I think
That-
things don't
Before they catch it, that snake does not kill 1 or 2 devotees.
means
That you have to ensure.
because we have fishes.
Otherwise, you will get not Vaishnav aparad, Vaishnav hatya aparad.
But we like if we go to Kerala and something happens because we are not
We will only lose body. Jaan hai to jahan hai.
That's fear also because
Sar salamat to pagdi 50, sar salamat to pagdi 1000. That you have to find out.
Should kill all snake or some snake like
I
cobra.
told you, na, only if the snake comes in your residential area and if it is poisonous.
Like different varieties of like.
That's what I'm saying. You have to know whether it is poisonous or not poisonous. Saying take photo and asking ChatGPT whether this is poisonous. He is there in our residential complex. We should accept. We are 5 members in our house. Should we accept him as a 6th residence, or should we, before he makes us 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, we should kill it. So, if you are too confused, you can approach Pantam and prove that time. At least click photo and approach him. He will do that chat GPT.
Many people worship like on Nag Panchami, like they should not,
Yes.
demigods, like should not be killed. But
Do the needful. I'll proceed with the syllabus. For me, completing syllabus is more important than killing snakes when there is no snake around. You are all nice Vaishnavas, you are swans. I am the snake who might bite you. I'm biting you also. But don't worry, I will not bite you beyond 2 o'clock. Max 5-10 minutes more. Where were we? Anyatam. If the king or government becomes demoniac, it is the duty of a saintly person to upset the government and replace it with deserving persons who follow the orders and instructions of saintly persons. Chakradepa says he will turn the world to ashes, therefore he should be turned to ashes. Yes. 32. Nayam arhatya sadvrutto naradeva varasanam yo adhiyagyapatim vishnun विनिंदत्यनत्रपः The saintly sages continued, this impious, impudent man does not deserve to sit on the throne at all. He is so shameless that he even dared insult the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu. Purport. A devotee is generally very humble and meek, and he is reluctant to pick a quarrel with anyone, nor does he envy anyone. However, a pure devotee immediately becomes fiery with anger when he sees that Lord Vishnu or his devotees insulted. This is the duty of a devotee. In Sri Prem Bhakti Chandrika, Srila Narottam Das Thakur tells how 5 of the 6 anatas can be purified, except envy. So, Kama Krishna Karmarpani. Lust gets purified when we work hard for Krishna. Krodha Bhakta Dveshi Jani. Krodh, anger gets purified when you exert your anger on a person who is envious of Krishna or his devotees. It's like Hanumanji, when insulted, when caught and dragged through the streets of Lanka inside the core, he was humble. He was not given a seat, he was humble. He was insulted in the court by Ravan and others. He was humble. But when Ram was insulted, immediately he became very angry. He wanted to destroy everyone. But he was wondering what to do. And meanwhile, they took decision, set his tail on fire. Because monkeys are very proud of their tails. Okay. So then he thought, very good. Now fire will come in my tail only. I will then tell them what is the mistake they did. And then he set whole Lanka on fire. So Krodha Bhakta Deshi Jana, Lobha Sadhu Sange Hari Katha. Greed gets purified by doing Sadhu Sang. And in that, hearing Krishna Katha, Krishna Nam, Krishna Kirtan, which is Golopikera Premadan. So you earn the transcendental wealth of that world, not the wealth of this world. Greed means insatiable lust, attraction to the wealth of this world. But you earn the wealth of that world. Lobha sadhu sange harikatha. Moha ishta labha vinay. You get illusioned if you don't get Krishna. Oh, shunyayitam jagat sarvam Govinda virahena me. The whole world is very wide without Govinda. And Mada Krishna Gunagane. Mada means pride. You know what I did? Yesterday night I was on Mount Everest and I put India's flag there, posted there. And then I jumped from the Everest and came running here because Bhakti Vaibhav class was to start. Na? So I had anxiety that I should reach before 10:45. So I just reached in time at 10:44. So the Mad means boasting about oneself. But Mada Krishna Gunagane. You glorify the Lord, then your pride will be destroyed. No, that's what I told. No, 5 of the 6 anathas, how they will be purified. The envy has to be given up by discretion. Chaya Vega Dami, Chaya Dosha Shodhi, Chaya Guna Dehadase. That is based on NOI. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written then that book, that song, based on Sri Upadeshamrut book. So there 6 anathas and all that are told. Chaya Vega Dami. वाचो वेगम मनस क्रोध वेगम जिह्वा वेगम उदर उपस्थ वेगम क्षय वेग क्षय दोष शोधि अत्याहार प्रयासस्य प्रजल्पो नियमाग्रह जनसंगश्च लौल्यं च षड्वीर भक्तिर विनश्यति क्षय क्षय गुण देहदासे क्षय गुण उत्साह निश्चय धैर्य तत्त कर्म प्रवर्तनात् संग त्याग सतोवृत्ति षड्वीर भक्तिर प्रसिद्ध्यति क्षय वेग दमी क्षय दोष शोधि क्षय गुण देहदासे क्षय सत्ता संग देहे अमृते बोसेचे संगेर आशे क्षय सत्संग इज ददाति प्रतिगृणाति गुह्यमाख्याति पृच्छति भुंक्ते भोजयते चैव षड्विधम प्रीति लक्षणम associating with devotees means doing these 6 things. Three commodities: prasad, discussion and gifts. So one gives, one accepts, one gives, one accepts. Whether he gives prasad, then you accept prasad. He gives gift, you accept gift. He gives, he reveals his heart, you hear it. So though that is all related to NY 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is 32nd, 33rd. Ko vainam parichakshita venam ekamrute ashubham prapta idrusham aishwaryam Yad anugraha bhajanah. But for King Vena, who is simply inauspicious, who would blaspheme the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by whose mercy one is awarded all kinds of fortune and opulence. When human society individually or collectively becomes godless and blasphemes the authority of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it is certainly destined for ruination. Such a civilization invites all kinds of bad fortune due to not appreciating the mercy of the Lord. Saintly sages are saying. Chakravartipad writes, who except Vena would criticize Vishnu, from whom he received such power and was the object of mercy? Therefore, he should be shown no mercy and should be killed. 34th. Itham vyavasita hantum ऋषयोरूढमन्यवः निजग्नुर्हुङ्कृतैर्वैनम् हतम् अच्युत निन्दया. The great sages, thus manifesting their covert anger, immediately decided to kill the king. King Vena was already as good as dead due to his blasphemy against the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, without using any weapons, the sages killed King Vena simply by high sounding words. Hum Krutai. So make sure no devotee who is so upset with you that he says, so that should not happen with us. And nor should you use this against any other devotee. तेरा मुंह भी नहीं देखना चाहता मैं. Get lost. We should not go to that extent. हम सबको अपना मुख दिखाते हैं और सबका मुख देखने जाते हैं. तारे देखो तारे को हो कृष्ण उपदेश, तो सबका मुंह देखना है, सबको अपना मुंह दिखाना है. ये होम कृत्य कैसे कर सकते हैं? Somebody did not take the book. कुछ नहीं होगा उसको. He'll be peaceful. है कुछ हुआ नहीं. क्या हो गया आपको? आप तब अच्छा प्रचार कर रहे थे, अभी आपकी वाणी बंद हो गई क्या? आवाज ही बंद हो गया आपका, खाली हुम निकल रहा है. तब हम नंबर हो जाएंगे. अरे मेरे हुंकार से मरा ही नहीं है. वो सेजेस पावरफुल थे जाने शायद. भक्ति वैभव क्लासेस के समय समझा नहीं कि इतने पावरफुल थे. अभी समझा. मेरे हुंकार से कुछ नहीं हुआ. मेरे हुंकार से उसका होकार भी नहीं आया. He did not say, yeah, okay, okay, I'll take the book. He said, get lost. 35th. ऋषिभिः स्वाश्रमपदम् गते पुत्रकलेवरम् सुनिथा पालयाम आस विद्या योगेन शोचति. After all the sages returned to their respective hermitages, the mother of King Vena, Sunitha, became very much aggrieved because of her son's death. She decided to preserve the dead body of her son by the application of certain ingredients and by chanting mantras, mantra yogena. Now, who gave her the intelligence? What does she think? She will bring her son back to life. Why should she keep the body in certain ingredients, isn't it? That's what was done with Dashrath's body, because all his four sons were out. Already Bharat, assisted by Shatrughna, had gone to Kekaidesh, Kaikai's father's place. And here Ram was banished to forest. He was accompanied by Lakshman. All four sons are absent. Now who will come, we don't know. Ram is supposed to do ideally, he is the eldest, but he is already banished. So in case he doesn't come, Lakshman only may will not come. So then Bharat or Shatrughna may do. So somebody will do whenever they do, because nobody is present. So they kept the body of Dashrath Maharaj into natural chemicals, natural oils and all that. And it was preserved till Bharat came and all that. And he did it afterwards. And I knew there was discussion what to do and all that. But anyway, so why should his body be kept? Is he as glorious as Dashrath, having sons as glorious as Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, Shatrughna? But this is how Krishna dictated her, because something glorious is supposed to come out from that dead body of Vena, who was highly irreligious, arrogant, against the Supreme Personality of Godhead, envious of the Lord. So that is till 35. The sages kill Vena. Sunita preserves his dead body with mantras. 36 to 41. These 6 verses talk about the sages observe disturbance in the kingdom. See now, that ant on the log of wood. One side is atrocious king, other side dacoits and rogues. So now the king is dead. Another danger is about to start. 36th. That for 35 he says Vidya Yogena means by placing it in oil with use of mantras. Ekada muna yaste tu saraswat sat salila pluptaha भूत्वाग्निन् सत्कथाश्वश्चक्रो विष्णः सरित्तटे. Once upon a time, the same saintly persons, after taking their bath in the river Saraswati, began to perform their daily duties by offering oblations into the sacrificial fires. After this, sitting on the bank of the river, they began to talk about the transcendental person and his pastimes. Saraswati in the masculine gender is poetic license. 37. Vikshothitamstadotpatan ahirloka bhayankaram api abhadramanathaya dasyubhyo na bhaved bhuvaha. In those days, there were various disturbances in the country that were creating a panic in society. Therefore, all the sages began to talk amongst themselves. Since the king is dead and there is no protector in the world, misfortune may befall the people in general on account of rogues and thieves. Purport. The saintly persons became very anxious for the safety of the people in general. The conclusion is that even though saintly persons have no business in political affairs, they are always compassionate upon the people in general. Thus, even though they are always aloof from society, out of mercy and compassion, they consider how the citizens can peacefully execute their rituals and follow the rules and regulations of Varnashram Dharma. That was the concern of these sages. He quotes Hare Nam. Both for spiritual and material prosperity, everyone should devotedly chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So you chant and make others chant. Japo, Japo. Saraswat in the masculine, that is over. 37th. 38 now. Evam Bhrushanta Rushayo Dhavatam Sarvato Disham पांशुः समुत्थितो भूरिश् चोराणाम् अभिलुम्पताम्. When the great sages were carrying on their discussion in this way, they saw a dust storm arising from all directions. This storm was caused by the running of thieves and rogues who were engaged in plundering the citizens. What a bad situation. Purport: thieves and rogues simply await some political upset in order to take the opportunity to plunder the people in general. To keep thieves and rogues inactive in their profession, a strong government is always required. Generally, ministers require command of the king. On their own, they cannot do. Ministers are many times Brahmanas also. Brahmanas are weak and they cannot do. They are good in goodness, they are good in guiding without getting agitated and taking some wrong decision because of the passion, which the king may do. King is not supposed to decide. The ministers will decide and action will be taken by the king. That is the way of Brahmanas and Kshatriyas working together. Not nothing is revealed in Bhagavatam. While the sages were reflecting and sitting there, the dust arose. 39:40. Tad upadravam agaya lokasya vasulumpatam भर्तुर्युपरते तस्मिन् अन्योन्यं च जिघंसताम् चोरप्रायं जनपदम् हीनसत्त्वमराजकम् लोकान्नावारयञ्छन्ता अपि तद्दोषदर्शिनः. Upon seeing the dust storm, the saintly persons could understand that there were a great deal of varieties due to the death of King Vena. Without government, the state was devoid of law and order, and consequently there was a great uprising of murderous thieves and rogues who were plundering the riches of the people in general. Although the great sages could subdue the disturbance by their powers, just as they could kill the king, they considered it improper on their part to do so. Thus, they did not attempt to stop the disturbance. Brahmanas, sages, they cannot do that. When Vishwamitra Muni approached Dashrath, he nicely welcomed him and said, "Please let me know what service could I do." He said, "Please give your Ram to me. There are Rakshasas like Edimba, Marish, and so creating a lot of disturbance in forests when we perform sacrifices. They pass urine and stool in our fire sacrifice. They throw bones and all that. So Ram will kill them all, and then I will give him back." Dashrath was stunned, shocked. He said, "What? He is hardly 12 years old. He is just a boy. What can he do? You tell me, order me. I will come. I am a great charioteer, Dashrath. You know, with all my soldiers, I will come." He said, "No, I don't want you. I want your son only, Ram only." So Dashrath was shocked and he was reluctant. He thought Ram is just a boy. Then Vashishta Muni took him aside. He said, "My dear King Dashrath, don't think this Vishwamitra is some ordinary person. He alone can wipe off the entire race of the Rakshasas. He has that ability. But because he's a Brahmin, he doesn't want to get into killing, bloodshed, and all that. And he wants to empower Ram. In the process of, even before killing the demons, these Rakshasas, he will give him astras and shastras and empower him like anything. It will be all good for Ram and for you also. So have faith, give him." So then Dashrath Maharaj agreed and gave. And surely you find Kausalya, Supraja, Raja, huh? uh, uh, Raja, Rama, Purva Sandhya Pravarte, Uttishta Narashardula. So every day, night they would sleep somewhere because they are walking towards the forest. So they would they would sleep, and night before sleeping they would massage. Ram and Lakshman always accompanies Ram. Shatrughna always accompanies Bharat. That was the trend. Sumitra gave one son in the service of the son of Kausalya and one son in the service of son of Kaikai. That was her greatness. So Lakshman is also there. So they would massage the lotus feet of Vishwamitra. And next day morning, they are being woken up, isn't it? Uttishta Nara Shardula Kartavyam. So morning, he is also doing services. But anyway, in the process, they were taught a lot of astra shastra that all offered to them. So sages were capable of killing Vena. They had already killed Vena. To kill these rogues and thieves is ki jhad ki patti. All these rogues and thieves put together were fearful of Vena. So how powerful Vena was. And effortlessly they killed. They did not even use astra, shastra, anything. And finished. He died on the spot. So here not even is required. Maybe A is enough because H is at the end. Yara, Lavaksha, what is that? We can, isn't it? Understood or not? Ha is there, na? The ha comes at the end of Sanskrit alphabets, no? Yara, la, va, sha, va, ha, somewhere it comes. Now here these are ki jhad ki patti, rogues and thieves. They could have just used a only, na? Beginning. Oh, something like that. I'm just joking. Playing with the alphabets like that. So they thus did not attempt to stop the disturbance. Purport.
Pruchi, in this connection, just like here, they are not wanting to take the role of a king. Like in our society also, means because we are not just doing bhajan, we are preaching also. So many times this challenge comes what I should do, what I should not do, because
ask your counselor or senior devotees. Or Radhesham is always there.
even if
Through
sometimes
email.
on ground it's like everything it becomes like sometimes if you are managing certain people, so we are teaching them, kind of giving them some shiksha a little bit, but also trying to give, and along with that, but sometimes we have to take managerially some actions on them. So and that time the kind of kshatriya role is coming up also, administratively also. So
You have to be clear based on Guru Sadhu Shastra. There should not be abhadra of that pride that I am superior and he has committed mistake. I will teach him a good lesson because of his misdeeds, his insulting me in the past. Nothing of that should come in between. And just based on Guru Sadhu Shastra, you should do the needful. But if you are confused, bewildered, better consult superiors. Prabhupada writes in the 7th chapter of first volume of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Prakashan Saraswati asked him in Varanasi, what nonsense, you are a sannyasi, why are you dancing like women and children? Huh? So then he said, when I was initiated by my Guru, he told me, my dear child, what will you understand this Vedanta Sutra and all that? You are a kid. It is not your cup of tea. You just chant Hare Krishna. I started chanting Hare Krishna and then my hair started standing on end. Tears started flowing incessantly from my eyes. My body was trembling. I was rolling on the ground. I was not understanding what's happening. I went to my Guru and asked, Kiba mantra dila gosai, kiba tarabal, japite man karila pagal. What kind of mantra have you given? What kind of potency does it have? That as I chant the holy name, my mind goes crazy. Then Guru said, oh, this is perfection of your life. So Prabhupada in that purport writes that even person of the caliber of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none other than Krishna, took the matter when he was confused to his Guru for knowing what to do. So who are we in one sense, isn't it? So we should consult. Purport. The saintly persons and great sages killed King Vena out of emergency, but they did not choose to take part in the government in order to subdue the uprising of thieves and rogues which took place after the death of King Vena. It is not the duty of Brahmins and saintly persons to kill, although they may sometimes do so in the case of an emergency. Let's say in our temple, chappal chor is caught. So chappals have been stolen for last 5 6 months. They are being stolen, and we were putting trap and CCTV, and we caught him. Now 5 6 brahmacharis caught him. They take him inside the room. They don't have to beat him because this brahmachari is supposed to be brahmanas, isn't it? They can just get one of the visitors who is very strong, well built, and all that, or 2 3 of them, and tell them this fellow has been stealing the this thing, chappals and shoes. He has agreed. You can ask him, and he says, yeah, yeah, yeah. So that time they can beat him. They will also be happy. कि मंदिर में आके कुछ सेवा तो मिला है कि नहीं. खाली आंखें ही धन्य हो रही थी आजकल. अभी हाथ को भी कुछ सेवा कर सेवा है कि नहीं. हाँ, कर स्पृशन नहीं, कर बहुत कुछ. Quite many steps ahead of sprution also. Kar repeated sprution like that. So you understand, like that. We don't have to slap him. They will give him good thing. So that is 40th. So 3940. Chakravarti Pad writes, the order of the sentence is as follows. Understanding the disturbance to the population caused by looters of wealth and killers, and understanding that almost the whole population had become thieves, persons who are capable of preventing this, the Kshatriyas, even after seeing it happen, protecting only themselves and being indifferent, thinking why should we protect others, did not stop those who were looting others. For you, I think some reference, Pantang Chandru. Kshatriyas thought, why should we protect others? They are kind of indifferent. They were protecting only themselves. Did not stop those who were looting others. So for whatever reasons, for these reasons, there were some Kshatriyas as per your desire. But they were not in action. 41st. Brahman samudrukshanto dinanam samupekshakah स्रवते ब्रह्म तस्यापि भिन्न भाण्डात्पयो यथा. The great sages began to think that although a Brahman is peaceful and impartial because he is equal to everyone, it is still not his duty to neglect poor humans. By such neglect, a Brahman's spiritual power diminishes, just as water kept in a cracked pot leaks out. You know that story, one Brahmin only was sitting in the forest, and a cow came running and went in another side of the forest. Just within few seconds or so, another very deadly looking man came with an axe in his hand, and he was very ferocious, and he came and he stopped there and he asked, Brahmin, did you see any cow coming in this direction? Where did she go? And the Brahman understood now whole situation. Oh, that cow will be slaughtered by this butcher. Huh? There will be Gohatya. And he's asking now, where did that cow go? So, as a Brahmin, I have to be Satyavachani, truthful. I cannot tell lies. But if I tell truth, cow will be butchered. There will be Gohatya. So, he was in Dharma Sankat. Should I speak the truth which will lead to cow slaughter? Or should I tell the lies which will lead to my going to hell? I think I should not go to hell. That is bad. So I should speak the truth. And he indicated with his hand. Cow went in that direction. And then immediately the man ran with high speed. And within some time only he slaughtered the cow. There was loud cry and all that. And then after some years, this sage, this Brahmin was begging alms here and there. He went to one house, one lady opened house. She very respectfully invited him inside. Then he said, "My mother, please give some alms," like that. Then she said, you are so beautiful. I'm attracted to you. Why not we have physical union and enjoy our bodies of each other, like that. And the sage, the Brahman was shocked. What nonsense! You are like my mother. I cannot think like this. Now please don't speak all these words. If you are able to give some alms, you give. Otherwise, I am leaving. So then she understood. My God! Now he has already understood what a low class woman I am, and he'll tell 10 other people, everybody in the village. This will not be good. Immediately she tore off her, she went inside the house with a knife. She killed her sleeping husband. Then she came out and she tore off her sari and all that and started shouting, save, save, protect, protect. Immediately villagers came running and she said, this man was about to rape me. Please protect me. They took him, caught him, then they took him in panchayat. Sarpanch and others were there. And then it was there in dilemma. This man tried to rape this woman, so he should be killed, but he's a Brahmin. Brahmin should not be killed. It will be Brahma Hatya for us. So what to do? Okay, with his hand he tried to molest the woman. Let us cut his hand. So they cut off his left hand or something. So that hand he had shown like that. So this is how the laws of nature work. Why did I tell all this? By such neglect, a Brahman's spiritual power diminishes just as water kept in cracked pot leaks out. The great sages began to think that although Brahman is peaceful and impartial because he is equal to everyone, it is still not his duty to neglect poor humans. So the cow was the pure human, poor animal. He should have protected by telling lies, but he was not having higher understanding. So his hand was cut off. That man who was her husband was the butcher of previous life. So he killed the cow. Now cow has come in the form of woman, and woman took revenge by killing that butcher in the form of her husband. And because this man Brahmin led to her slaughter, now she led to his hand getting cut like that, because he misused his hand by showing the direction in which cow was. Purport: Brahmins, the topmost section of human society, are mostly devotees. They are generally unaware of the happenings within the material world because they are always busy in their activities for spiritual advancement. So we are also Brahmins. How many Brahmin initiated here? Yeah. So are you unaware of worldly happenings? And are you so busy in your spiritual advancement? Sometimes we are not so much busy in spiritual advancement, and we are quite busy knowing outside what is happening, Iran, Israel war, and what is Narendra Modi doing, and otherwise within ISKCON only, hey, what's happening in Jew, what's happening in Mira Road, what's happening in Delhi and Chowpatty, and what's happening in his room, and in the bathroom the water is leaking and the clock is not working in our room, and the prasadam is falling short for last 2-3 times. So that inquiry is sometimes more. Atha to bhayankar jigyasa, not Brahma jigyasa. Nonetheless, when there is a calamity in human society, they cannot remain impartial. If they do not do something to relieve the distressed condition of human society, it is said due to such neglect, their spiritual knowledge diminishes. So we should do when such kind of precarious condition is there, we have to do something. What to do, that also has to be clear. We should ask our superiors. There are two types of Brahmins, namely Brahman Pandit and Brahman Vaishnav. So Brahman Pandit will be aware of supreme absolute truth being impersonal, and Brahman Vaishnav will know, no, there is Bhagwan feature also, like that. Chakravartipad writes, what to speak of devotees and Kshatriyas being obligated to stop suffering of the people, if even the Brahman, peaceful and seeing all beings equally, ignore the suffering, then even his austerity as a Brahman dissipates. Even Brahmanas have to do something about the social condition if it is going out of order. 42nd. 42nd to 46, these 5 verses talk about the sages churn Vena's thigh to produce bahuka. Nangasya vangsho rajarsher esha samsthatum arhati amoga virya hindrupa vamshyasmin keshavashrayah. The sages decided that the descendants of the family of the saintly king Anga should not be stopped, for in this family the semen was very powerful and the children were prone to become devotees of the Lord. So powerful can meet Kshatriya, they're very powerful, like Shivaji Maharaj's son is Sambhaji. That lineage is there, it's very powerful. Amoga Virya. It has material meaning. Amoga Virya means they will be physically very powerful, and another meaning spiritually. They will be great devotees also, because Dhruva Maharaj was a pure devotee. Swayambhu Manu is a pure devotee, all that. The purity of hereditary succession is called Amoga Virya. Towards the end, Maharaj Anga was very pure because of the purification of semen in the family of Maharaj Dhruva. However, his semen became contaminated in association with his wife Sunita, who happened to be daughter of the personified. Because of this polluted semen, King Vena was produced. So now his dirty part is removed. Hmm? Dirty part was removed. Now glorious part of that semen is remaining. So that they want to churn out. Commentary. If that is so, why did the sages headed by Bhrigu remain unconcerned, saying that they could prevent destruction of their austerity by killing the thieves and protecting the population? They concluded that some king was necessary. Samsthatum means to be destroyed. 43rd. Vinishchittaiva amrush rushayo विपन्नस्य महीपतेः ममन्थुर्तरसा तत्रासिद्बाहुको नरः. And this bahuk is the contaminated part, so that will be separated now from that body of Vena. After making a decision, the saintly persons and sages churned the thighs of the dead body of King Vena with great force and according to a specific method. As a result of this churning, a dwarf-like person was born from King Vena's body. That a person was born by the churning of the thighs of King Vena proves that the spirit soul is individual and separate from the body. Prabhupada's conclusion. So this cloning, or what they call cloning only, no? So that is there in the Vedic times also. This example can be given. The ingredients by which another body could be produced were there in the body of King Vena. So they did that certain process. Commentary says Bahuka means a dwarf. portion, adharma, was separated and extracted from the body. So in the body of the child, the father's portion and mother's portion both have come. No? From father's semen, the soul enters, and from mother's body, the ingredients come. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. These Panchamahabhut are derived from the mother's body in those 9 months of pregnancy. So now mother's part, which was adharmic part, because coming from what do you call that? Mrityu, death. What they call? Death personified. From him, Sunitha got it, and from Sunitha, Vena got it. So now they are extracting that black portion, Bahuka, negative, adharmic part. They separated it.
But soul is the real person. I mean, matter, how does it matter?
Here it is special. Sages are powerful.
Means the ingredients of matter are coming from mother. They may be bad or good, but soul is good, then no problem. No?
So that body, they are able to, here it is little subtle also. We have a lot of gross calculation, but here it is somewhat higher science. Only they could do it. We will not be able to do that.
No, but how Vena became bad son? That's what I'm asking.
Because of Sunitha.
So Sunitha gave, like you told, that soul come from the male.
Yes, but then the consciousness of the child lies between the father's consciousness and mother's consciousness when they have physical union. That is different. Ingredients come from mother's body, the soul comes from father body, but the consciousness that the particular soul will be derived, that will depend on consciousness of both mother and father.
So means in the body of the Anga also, that kind of soul must be there, which is not good in some. That's why that soul came out, no? Because of mother's consciousness influence.
He had previous life sinful activities, but then he is a devotee now. Yajna he was performing, demigods were not even coming like that. But it is, as far as the acharyas and all that, the all blame is going to Sunitha because she comes from, she is the daughter of death personified. 54th. Kaka Krishna ati raswango raswa bahur mahahanuhu raswa pannimna nasagro raptakshastamramurdhajah. This person born from King Venus' thighs was named Bahuka, and his complexion was as black as a crow's. All the limbs of his body were very short, his arms and legs were short, and his jaws were large. His nose was flat, his eyes were reddish, and his hair copper colored. You can imagine how strange he was looking. This negative part was removed. 45th. Tam tu te avanatam dinam किं करोमीति वादिनं निषिदेत्य ब्रुवं स्तात स निषादस्ततो अभवत्. He was very submissive and meek, and immediately after his birth he bowed down and inquired, Sirs, what shall I do? The great sages replied, Please sit down. Nishida. Thus Nishad, the father of the Naishad race, was born. Understood? Nishida. Just sit down. So that's why Nishada. Purport middle. The Shudras are sometimes called black or Krishna. The Brahmins are called Shukla or white. And the Kshatriyas and the Vaishyas are a mixture of black and white. You have seen in society also, those who are in Brahmin family, they will be generally fair complexion, supposed to be. And those who are in Shudra, they will be black in complexion. And Kshatriyas and Vaishyas in between. They will be whitish, they will be what? Reddish, some in between. Since he was tribal in nature, he was not suitable to be the king. He is born from Venus' body, who was the king, but he is not suitable to be the king because he is a tribal in nature. 46, the last verse. Tasya vamshastu naishada girikanan gocharaha येना हरज्जायमानो वेन kalmashamulbanam. After Nishad's birth, he immediately took charge of all the resultant actions of King Venus' sinful activities. As such, this Naishad class are always engaged in sinful activities like stealing, plundering, and hunting. Consequently, they are only allowed to live in the hills and forests. So now also you'll find that Prabhupada is quoting Kirata, Munandra and all that. Kirata mainly. So they all can be delivered. Mami partha vyapashyata yapi shu papayono striyo vaishastata shudras teapi yanti param gatim. Prabhupada has given devotional purport. So the negative part is removed. So now the positive part is the next verse, next chapter, 15, King Prithu's appearance and coronation. That we'll discuss tomorrow. So this 42 to 46, the sages churn Venus thigh to produce Bahuka. Any question?
They, after begetting a child, they are not so happy with the child. They are saying कि अरे क्या खा के पैदा किया इसको, means how I is so means restless and all. So is it because means they did not want, that's why it is Varna Sankar, or means how, means because
They only have produced, so their fault is there. They have their sinful activities of the past lives and this life. So as a result, either they might not have done Garbhadan Sanskar. His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj said in one youth program that in London on every Saturday night, on the tip of the whiskey bottle, a child is born. And when I heard it, I was wondering, ये क्या है? हमने टेस्ट ट्यूब बेबी तो सुना था, ये विस्की बॉटल बेबी क्या है? So then he explained, basically Saturday is holiday there, so all the boys and girls they drink like anything, whiskey and all that, and after that in their intoxicated condition they have sex, and she becomes pregnant and she produces child. So the child is produced on the whiskey bottle like that. So this kind of thing they do, but anyway, even this married couple, husband and wife, they might not have done Garbhadan Sanskar and they have this sinful track record. So all that may be that they don't want a child, somehow the child came and this and that is another thing. But anyway, they are not good in consciousness. So then naturally the child will be, they cannot blame the child completely. They have their karma. They did just like Diti and Kashyap did union at the wrong time after sunset. So then the Rakshasas were supposed to be born, Daityas, and Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha were born. This was told just at the conception time only, just after conceiving. She's supposed to be minimum 9 months pregnant. She delayed it for 100 years, that is different thing. But 9 months before only he's telling in advance. They will be very deadly Daityas, troubling everybody in the universe.
Means consciousness matters.
Yeah, consciousness. That's why the consciousness purification is only called as Garbhadan Sanskar. And it is not in one sense just one day activity of only chanting 15 rounds. If you see the book is there, that raising children or something, Ram Sevak and others have made. So there are a lot of procedure is given. They have to do yagya and many things are there for purification. And a lot of background is also there of years. But at least before conceiving a child, there some 3-4 days procedures are there. Towards the end, on that day they may chant 50 rounds, husband and wife, and men then have physical union. But a lot of other things are there preceding to that thing. A lot of preparation of consciousness is required. Just like we make chapatis, we don't just I say आंखें बंद करके ये वगैरह, and no, we take atta, then we usko what we do with the sieve and all that, we remove the kankar and all that very fine, and then we put appropriate amount of water and make it very nicely, and we just don't make it like this, atta, this much atta, 2 kg 3 kg, we don't do it for 2 minutes, and we do it sufficiently, making it soft and all that, and then like that. So like that the background also matters like that. Any other? Is there any devotee online?
Unmute, you can ask. Unmute yourself.
Who?
Narari Thakur.
Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam Prabhuji.
Ambala business.
All right. Very nice. Excellent, Uji. Uji, I was thinking about that you said that there should be not be devotee who is doing that Brahmana says. So in our life should be no devotee should be there saying home.
No, could you hold the mic closer to your mouth? We are not able to hear you.
Hare Krishna.
Or increase the volume
Now,
also.
okay. Hare Krishna. Now audible.
प्रभु आपका
Your mic has some problem.
Mic का problem है.
अभी थोड़ा बेटर बोलो थे फिर से.
Hare Krishna. आवाज आ रहा है?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So my question was that you said that your devotee should not means that Brahmana first that Vena. Similarly, in our life also, there should not be.
You have to speak slowly, distinctly. In between two words, there has to be gap.
Okay. So Vena occurs by Brahmanas saying whom.
Vena
So
was cursed by Brahmana by
similarly,
saying whom?
Huh?
Vena was cursed by Brahmana by saying whom?
Whom by saying whom.
Yes, Prabhu.
Similarly, other devotee should not have whom for us. So it is up to their swabhava because some devotees have a problem with everyone. Yes. So and they are unreasonable. Means reasonable after giving all the reasons, they are unreasonable and they say whom for everything. So
No problem. Nobody has died in our community. Whatever number of devotees were there.
Still we get a Vaishnava aparadh.
No, you consult your superiors. See this kind of situation, you should meet your counselor and say that this devotee, you can tell the name also because the counselor already knows that he every time says whom to me only. And he does that with everyone. Nobody has died fortunately in our community. So what to do? The counselor will tell XYZ, follow that. Okay?
Yes, Lord. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you all very much. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki,
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki, Maharaj Anga ki,
Jai.
Maharaj Vena ki,
Jai.
and Maharaj Prutu ki jai. No offense. Sakale Samman, Korite Shakrati, Dehanatha Jata Jata. And Bahuk Danishad ki,
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki,
Jai.
Samaveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki, Nitai Gaur
Jai.
Pramanandi.
Hari Bol.
The negative part which was extracted is glorified. Positive part also should be glorified.